I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, May the 10th. Hello.
Damn straight.
Good morning. It is Friday, May the 10th. There is as my dad would have said, there's a huge basketball game in Minneapolis tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves host the Denver Nuggets in Game 3. There's a huge fishing opener today and tomorrow. Zepp and I are going to Lake City, and we're going to be on a boat tomorrow. and we're gonna maybe have
Catch
a story
beer.
or two on Monday.
Fish, yeah.
Please have your life jackets on, both of you.
I can promise you this. There will be stories on Monday. They will most likely have an ounce or two of reality and truth to them.
Oh, yeah.
I got up early this morning. I was already writing my fishing tales.
I already know how many fish I caught and what the biggest one was. And to your point, Shannon, night, welcome into the morning. Shannon morning, Shannon AM. I don't wear life jackets because I'm working on my tan. I'm going to be shirtless out there in my Speedo.
Oh, you're Quint. I'll never put on a life jacket again.
That's right.
Right. Well, no, I'm a life jacket wearing guy. I mean, I can paddle, but Pepin, that gets some chop out there on Lake Pepin.
Oh, come on. Really?
Oh, yeah. It's the undertow, the rivers meet there, and I don't know.
It's scary.
Yeah, I life jacket, it's been so long. I just can't imagine.
They're getting cool now, man. It's not those big orange things.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because it's you two. I know you both.
Yeah.
Hence why I said you probably should have them just in case.
Someone's going to push somebody overboard.
Yeah, someone's getting pushed over. Who's going to go first, Zepp or Gorman?
I'd rather come in here Monday and y'all talk about, man, Steve was a great guy, than me go, well, I was wearing a life jacket. No, it's just embarrassing.
Well, can you swim?
Yeah, I can. I got blue ribbons to prove. I was on the swim team up until I was 9. I got an Australian crawl that's just to die for.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen swimming till you've seen me with that crawl.
Well, the more I know,
I'm thinking of a guy trying to get out of a bar to his car or something like with the Australian crawl. But I don't know. There may be life jackets. I don't know. Come to think of it, I don't generally wear them when I'm out recreating on a boat, but I do like to jump off the boat and go for a swim. Will not be doing that tomorrow, however.
No. It'll be a little chilly. That water won't be quite warm enough for this guy.
No, that's river water. That's still coming from the Rockies.
Yeah, are you going out early?
What's that?
Are you going to be going out early?
Oh,
4 a.m. Yeah. First one's on the water. I like to get out a little moonlight fishing, I call it. Nearly that early.
No, I can't. There's no better sleep than just on a calm, placid lake at sunrise. I'll just be sawing toothpicks in that boat. Don't kid yourself. I love the fact that the fishing open is on Mother's Day weekend. Just go ahead, guys, get it out of your system, and then Sunday come in and make a quiche.
Yeah.
Mother's Day. It is Mother's Day weekend, and a weekend that I will frame in retrospect as a weekend with 2 Timberwolves games. That's me. Sorry, babe. That's how I'm thinking about it. But on Sunday, I'll be focusing on my mom as well as my children's mom. Lucky on both counts. Can't say enough for the mom I ended up marrying and the mom I had. Mother's Day is a great moment to sit there and go, well, this is what I thought today. I have a few moments that I can remember very, very specifically, and I'm sure we all do. Your mom is your mom. She's the stars, and she's the moon, and she's the sun, and she's all that. And then along the way, at some point, something happens when you're a kid, or certainly by the time you're a teenager, where you go, I think my mom's kind of cool. She might be okay. She might be kind of like, I don't know. Not just my mom.
Right.
What a weird concept. And I like those kind of stories. And I loved watching my kids have those moments where they were like, Mom's cool. Wow, who knew? You know,
finding out your mom is cool.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Not finding out your mom is hot, however. That'll
a whole different experience.
Yeah, my mom Dottie. So I remember a conversation that ended in hot dot when I was about 12. And pretty soon, it was Fist of Fury. I was throwing haymakers. I don't know if I landed any, but I was.
I look at my mom was a beautiful gal. By the time she had me, I was the 8th kid. Yeah. So when I was in elementary school, middle school, she was late 40s, early 50s. So I never experienced that with any of my friends going like, Steve's mom's
firstborn. Mom was 19 when I was born.
Right.
So she was
it's a whole different story.
At that age, I don't think she was even 30 yet.
No,
when that happened.
My friend Clint moved. When he was in like 8th grade, new kid in town. And his mom walked into school one day, and literally all the air in the gym just left. Who is that?
I want to sleep over at Clint's house.
And then it was like, wait, that's your aunt. That's your hot aunt. He's like, no, that's my mom. And she drove a BMW.
What the?
I mean, I'm telling you, for a small school in a small town. It was earth shattering. It was as if Sybil Shepherd walked into the school one day. It was just like, wait, what? Hang on a minute. I mean, there was a few of those. My mom, I've got a couple just benchmark boom moments, like spikes in the rock wall of my life where I was like, oh wow, Mom, you rock on, Imelda.
Nice.
Yeah, Imelda. That's right. Mm-hmm. Great name.
Yeah, it is a great name.
By the way, when your mom's name is Imelda, you can't believe how many people don't know how to spell Imelda. Is that
like
an
it
A?
sounds?
Is that a U-H-M? Imelda. No.
Not even going to attempt it.
Yeah, no, trust me. Just Google Filipino president's wife, and you'll find the spelling every time. So hey, let's talk about moms. We've all got, but specifically, I want hey, my mom might be kind of cool stories if you got one. Those are always fun. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk or text line. Feel free to hit us in either capacity. We'll line them up and roll them out in just a few. Hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Bono's 64th birthday today, so we did the right thing and we played Thin Lizzy.
Yes.
The greatest Irish band of all time. And I'm a U2 fan, but I mean, seriously, Thin Lizzy's just bad ass, baby. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, and we all had that moment when you look at your mom and go, oh, she's actually kind of cool. Go figure. I didn't realize. On the KQ Talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. Here's a text. High school, 1985. I made one of my many bad decisions on a first date, and the next day at school, this classless lowlife told all his friends, and I was absolutely mortified. Mm-hmm. The next morning, I was crying, telling my mom I just couldn't go to school. Instead of asking why, she simply said, why don't you stay home? And she took me out shopping, and we had lunch. My mom's the best.
Yeah.
Aww.
Mom rocks.
Nice. Yeah, mom's
cool.
rock.
My mom would do the same thing. It was a couple times I remember growing up, and I woke up and I didn't want to go to school. I felt sad.
Yeah.
I didn't feel so great. I just didn't feel like it. She let me take like a kid's day. She's like, okay, you can stay home, honey.
Have a kid's day.
The coolest.
We did that with our kids. That didn't happen in my house, but as a kid, which I understand. By the time I went to kindergarten a year earlier than all my other kids had. I was an August birthday, so I could have been either the oldest or the youngest kid in my class, basically. And they were like, he'll be the youngest because we got to get everybody out of the house. I mean, today's my mom's 73rd Mother's Day. She's been a mom for a long time.
A long-ass time.
And by the time I came around, it was just like, can he please go to kindergarten? Can I just get 4 hours?
It's like the Monty
to myself?
Python movie, Meaning of Life. He just dropped out on the floor while she was doing the dishes. Somebody grab that. We'll call him Steven.
By the way, not far off. She walked into the hospital.
Yeah.
Knew fully well all day long she'd been in labor. She still had to. She'll tell the story.
Things done.
I still had to get the potatoes ready, but then I got those, and she walked into the hospital, and 20 minutes later had me.
Oh, wow!
20 minutes later.
Just 20 minutes.
Let's do this.
Yeah,
you over there.
Minutes.
You over there. You boil some water. You grab some clean towels.
I've heard the story many times. She was just like, but they're like, oh, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I mean,
she's probably bothered because she had to go to the hospital.
Probably
she's
so.
Thinking,
at that
I
point.
can do this here. Just lay something on the sofa.
When our daughter was born, we only have 2 kids. Our second baby came, and when our first baby, when the boy came, he was born on a Monday afternoon. We left the hospital on Wednesday, and I was like, you can't let us leave. What are you doing?
I know.
We don't know what we're doing.
2 years later, Marley comes. She's born at 10:30 a.m., and I'm like, it's noon. I'm like, can we just go home?
Yeah.
Let's go. We got her.
Lunchtime. Yep.
Why are we staying overnight? Yeah. We haven't had lunch. I couldn't believe they were making us stay overnight after a morning birth. I'm like, come on. I was in 8th grade, so that's a pretty vibrant time in a young man's life. Mm-hmm. And long story short, unsupervised soccer practice. Coach was off. He expected the seniors to lead the day, which they did, which meant that which meant that I ended up in a penalty kick competition where the wager was if anyone misses, they have to go streaking in front of the cheerleaders.
Yes.
That's what happens when Coach Vaughn takes off for the day. And I blasted a ball right over the crossbar and turned and ran like with everything I had, because all I had to do was get back to school before they caught me, and I knew I'd be clear. Because once I'm in the building, there's going to be adults, and I'm going to go, they're going to make me take my clothes off, and I'd be safe. I outran all of my teammates on the junior varsity team, but then the seniors caught. They were like, catch him, catch him, catch him. They don't even know why. They're like, okay. And so I got run down. I got run down by a guy named Nelson Dossett as I'm reaching for the back door of the school.
Oh, it was within reach.
And he had no idea why he was even chasing me. And when he found out, he was real happy. And so now all the seniors are like, go ahead, man. And the cheerleaders are out in another part of the field, and they're practicing. And 2 minutes later, me wearing nothing but my Adidas cleats and socks go running. Like I just ran in a circle around them.
My man, that's great.
Yeah, my one moment as a young Tony Lee. And the cheerleaders were thrilled and laughing hysterically.
My eyes!
Pretty much. And there were all the typical things. Wow, that looks like a penis, only smaller. Those lines. And so, hey, the curse of the Irish ain't the drinking.
It's a cool spring day.
No, I run up to school, get my clothes on, and right as I get dressed, two things happen. I see my mom's car pulling up to front, but she has no idea any of this is happening. But I see her arriving to get me, and at the same time, one of the students comes up and he says, Mr. Barton's on his way. He saw that. He's the principal of the school.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm busted. I'm dead. I hop in the car. I get in my mom's car. She's like, hi, honey. I'm like, hey, Mom. This is moments after I've just put my clothes back on. Mm-hmm. We're pulling out, and the school has a long driveway. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, and I'm like, I gotta get in front of this. Mm-hmm. And she's going to kill me. And then my dad's going to kill the corpse again. I'm about to be killed twice. And I told her what happened. I said, we had a bet, and me and John, and we had penalty kicks. And I'm telling this, and I started to cry. I was so mortified. And my mom is she's the first ever Catholic saint to be sainted while still alive, in my mind. I mean, she had the Pope's number and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to have to tell this woman this. Yeah. And she said, and so what happened? I said, well, Nelson caught me right at the door. And then they told him, and the seniors got me. And I said, and I did it. I took all my clothes off, and I streaked her. And she pulled the car over because she was laughing so hard she almost crashed.
That's the best.
She laughed for 5 straight minutes. And I was like, this is not funny. And every time I said that, she laughed harder and harder and harder and harder. I mean, and I was so bewildered by this reaction. I was like, what? And then it kind of hit me. I was like, well, this is kind of funny. I mean, this will be funny. Sure. Mm-hmm. And she's not mad at all. She's just like, oh, my God. And I mean, that was the first time I ever saw her as a human being and not my servant who's, you're here to clean my stuff and feed me, woman. Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't realize I thought that. But I was like, oh, my God, she's actually just a Imelda, and she's hilarious, and she gets this. And then, of course, the postscript to the story, Mr. Barton hadn't seen it. He wasn't coming around the side of the building to find me.
Just another
that was just a lie.
Streaking.
I could have gone home and never said a word. It would have gotten back to my parents a week later, and then I would have gone, what are you talking about?
Well, you were raised by Catholics, weren't you?
Oh, I sure was.
Guilt on the outside.
But then my mom doubled down on cool. She didn't tell my dad. He never heard that story. Or if he did, it was so far down the road, it never came back from my dad. However, I did go into school the next day, and the guidance counselor, Mr. Finkel, said, hey, come here for a minute. He pulled me into his office, total stoner, hippie, 70s guidance counselor, huge mustache.
Done a little streaking in his day.
I'm sure. And he goes, so you streaked in front of the cheerleaders? I go, yeah. He goes, well, actually, you ran around them you did a circle thing, right? I was like, yeah. He goes,
was that part of it?
Yeah, I had to, yeah. And he goes,
a victory lap?
He goes, okay, I get it. Is this something you're going to start doing? And I was like,
Is
what?
this going to be a normal thing?
He goes, are you going to do this again? I go, absolutely not. He goes, all right, cool, go to class. That was our meeting.
Not a new hobby.
I've got to check this box here according to the new school rules to make sure you're not going to keep doing that. But all right, you're good. Get the hell out of here. I've got some pot to smoke.
Yeah, so we all have, I have a handful of those moments. We all have it, one or two that always jumps out. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for that, Imelda. It really.
What a pivotal moment.
It really was. Yeah. I mean, with all of the that crush of all the competing thoughts and feelings and emotions and hormones that an 8th grade boy could be trying to balance.
Yeah.
And she literally pulled the car over. I mean, 2 wheels in the grass on the side of the road and just laughing and crying. She was laughing so hard.
Best.
It was pretty great. All right, we've got a lot of Mother's Day stories. We would love to hear from you. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. We've got a history lesson and Mike Evans coming up, so hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, and this is the time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Hope everybody's getting ready for a big weekend. Maybe your weekend will include going to a movie. Marcus Theaters makes this report possible every day. Marcus Theater, the best theater chain in the country. And I'll tell you about a couple of movies I'll be reviewing today that are playing at Marcus Theaters. Don't forget, every Tuesday, $6 for any movie at Marcus Theaters. All right, we start off with a hate nugget. Is it true Angelina Jolie has spent years brainwashing her kids that she had with Brad Pitt, brainwashing the kids against Brad? Boy, that is shameful. It is Movie Review Friday. We start off, hey, well, I thought all the fruit had been squeezed dry and that the party was over. I was wrong. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is fabulous. You know, Planet of the Apes first hit the big screen in 1968, and there have been 3 sequels, but this latest is the best. The inmates are running the asylum. There's a battle, a kidnapping. It's a love story with plenty of action, and also it's thought-provoking, and it's touching. Yeah, I'm telling you. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, fabulous, rated PG. Only complaint I have, it's over 2.5 hours long. Don't like long movies, but I still give it 3.5 out of 4 stars. And if you thought that was the best movie I was going to recommend this weekend, wrong. I have one even better. Escape from Germany is now playing at Marcus Theaters and nationwide. Here's another true story and how they kept it a secret for 90 years. I have no idea. When a group of churches in Europe learns that the Germans are planning a sneak attack on Poland before World War II, they contact the U.S. government. But the U.S. government doesn't believe them, ignores them. So this church group in Europe sets out and they rescue missionaries and a lot of other people before the attack. Absolutely fabulous. Rated PG, 95 minutes long, 4 stars for Escape from Germany. And don't forget, Fall Guy and Unsung Heroes still playing. Like both of those movies a lot, recommend them. And if you want to look to the future of movies, Warner Brothers has just announced the new improved Lord of the Rings films that they will be released starting September 2026. And I tell you what, I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten from our listeners thanking me for suggestions of old movies and television series that folks may have missed or forgotten about that are now streaming. And I will answer every single email. But I'm following my own advice. I've been binging the first couple of TV seasons of Fargo. Oh, I love Fargo, eh? It's pretty good, eh? I've seen them years ago, but they're worth watching again. And if you've never seen the movie Fargo, which I'm sure most of you have, you got to see it. It is now streaming on Prime. And guess what? It's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. We're going to play today Aloha Friday. Have a great weekend. Go Timberwolves. Lydio Kalani, Lani, Anio, Kealaku, and the cock and the ock and hooey, 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 ho.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, May the 10th. In about an hour and a half, Greg Proops will be calling the show. He is one of the very, very funny gentlemen from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, right.
They're in town tonight and tomorrow night. A double night at 2 different rooms, the State and the Pantages, I believe. Whose Line Is It Anyway? I mean, my gosh, 30-plus years of hilarity.
Amazing.
Almost
Such a fun
40.
show. Yeah.
And Greg Proops, the guy with the glasses, if you're wondering which one he is. A
lanky
great guy, a good buddy of mine for many years, and one of the funniest people on or off stage you could ever spend a minute with. So I'm looking very
always wears
forward.
a suit, too.
He's a snappy dresser, that
He
guy.
is. Here he is on Men's Summertime Fashion with Memorial Day coming up. Greg Proops.
The weather's warm, and guys want to get frisky with the wardrobe. Guys who wear flip-flops in public, in front of people. They always have a rationale. Well, I want to be comfortable. What about us? I have to look at your feet and eat during the same lunar period? Gross. And barf. No one wants to look at men's feet. That's right, because they're giant submarine sandwiches full of regret and pain is what they are. They're hairy, horrible grinders.
Hairy, horrible grinders.
He does entire shows, literally just gets up in front of a room full of people without a single pre-planned moment, and he'll go for an hour.
That's a brain that's wired differently.
Oh, no. He's like who was the Scottish guy? Billy Connolly. He's got that same ability to just completely walk into a room and go, oh, there's an audience here? And then 90 minutes later, you're going, what in the world did I just experience?
That is a man that's relaxed in his own skin and his mind. That's just a lot of confidence.
That is exactly the case. 651-989 is the KQ Talking text line. We're talking about moms, specifically for Mother's Day. When did you figure out your mom was pretty cool? Because for all of us, it wasn't necessarily I always knew. You know, like I told you, I had a moment in 8th grade where I was like, hey, she's actually funny and cool, and she's not going to try to kill me right now. So if you've got one of those stories that you want to share, please feel free. The KQ Talking text line, like I said, 651-989-ROCK. We had a caller. Do we still have a caller or no?
Yes, he is still here. We got Dave from Blaine. Dave, you're on the air.
Dave, good morning. Dave, are you with us? Doesn't look like Dave's with us.
Dave.
Davey.
What? He should be on there. Hold on.
Wow.
That's so Dave.
Dave, are you there?
Is this a Cheech and Chong skit? Dave's not here.
No,
Dave's
I'm dead serious. The board is not. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh,
There
for
we
cripes.
Hang on.
Oh, for crepes. Oh.
Oh,
All right. Well,
Careful.
boy, this better be worth the wait, Dave. You better be adding some
Bay
mustard.
doors, Hal.
There he is, Dave-O.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Oh, well. Thought we had him. Are you there, Dave? Last chance.
Dave, are you there? I don't know what's going on with the board.
All
For
right.
some reason, the phone is not wanting to work.
That's okay. We're gonna try to figure this one out. In the meantime, Zep, regale us, because you said you have. We all have a few of these, but what was the one that comes to mind?
I definitely have a few of these, but I was in 5th grade, so 10 years old, and I've told this story on the air before. I'll try and keep it quick, but I came home from track and field day and had won a blue ribbon. I don't know, like the 50-yard dash or something like that, and came home with a blue ribbon. My mom was literally the mom in the kitchen with the apron, putting the pies on the windowsill. And I come home, and she was indeed in an apron there in the kitchen. And Mom, that's wonderful, Brian. Wonderful. You got a blue ribbon. You're fast. She goes, now, why don't you take the garbage out? And it was like a couple 100 yards away. It was an old farmhouse. And I'd take it down. I said, why don't you have Chris, my brother? Chris can take it. I want a blue ribbon. Mom said, oh, okay, well, come with me for a second. Takes me outside. We have a clothesline, of course, 2 fence posts, and I'm standing on one. She takes off her apron, kicks off her shoes. She says, race me down to the other clothesline pole. I'm like, Mom.
That's hilarious.
You're going to embarrass yourself.
Of course.
After she beat me by about 10 yards.
She really?
She just
Dottie
whooped my
smoked you?
butt. Dottie smoked me and puts her apron back on, and she said, now take out the garbage. And I was like, my mom's cool. She's fast.
Man.
I had no idea Mom was fast. I didn't even know at the time women could run. Not fully grown women. I never saw a woman run in my life.
She went inside.
I was only 10.
She went inside and threw up afterwards.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, she just whooped my rear end, and there you go.
Yeah,
take your blue ribbon and the garbage out.
Very strong. That's a good one.
Mama, Daddy.
Well played, Dot.
Yeah, she did that one. And then, Mom was just always cool, always sticking up for us. I remember playing in a football game, a state playoff football game. There we are in the playoffs. This is a big deal to me. And it meant some of our rival football teams were not playing because they were not in the playoffs. And they showed up at the playoffs, and they'd stand on the sideline, and they would heckle me. which I always thought was quite an honor to be heckled by your rival teammates or not teammates but rival teams. And somebody in the huddle out there in the middle of the game says, "Is that your mom?" I look over, and there's the Hitchcock boys football team, and my mom's down there just in their face, yelling at it, because apparently they were bad-mouthing me. I look up, there's Dad at the top of the bleachers just sitting there. I'm like, "Dad, get Mom."
Yeah.
Am I going to have to leave this game and get into a scuffle on the sideline? But I didn't. But that was Mom.
We've all had that moment where our wife... you just realize, a line's been crossed.
Yeah.
I can't stop it.
That's what Dad said afterwards.
All I can do is
what do you want me to do? I couldn't stop her.
Yeah, there's going to be a moment when I'll get involved, but it ain't here yet.
Yeah.
And I learned that one pretty much early on. There are times when Rosemary goes, "And you didn't do anything." I'm like, what could I have done other than make you even angrier by suggesting we change tack? Yeah, these things happen.
Cool, Mom.
Cool moms for sure. Okay, I got to ask, did we get this phone figured out or no?
Well, I'm working on it.
Okay,
right
let
now,
me know.
She's got a hammer out and a screwdriver over there. I could use a screwdriver.
So I told you the story. So like 8th grade, the first time I'm like, man, my mom's cool. And it really did. I suddenly tapped into the fact that like if I were around my mom and there were other adults around, like they'd all be laughing. Like, oh, she's really entertaining. Like they love me. I just really from one moment on saw her very differently, which not to say I still didn't have moments that I was like, what? Mom, come on. I went off to college freshman year, 1983. I'm back in home for a weekend and there's a cocktail party in the neighborhood.
I love it.
The way people used to have.
Right.
Friday evening, 6 to 8 cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. Come on. Or 5 to 7 even.
Civilized.
And I was like, oh, and my mom said, "Honey, I'm going over to the Bakers. Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, I can go. Yeah. I'm a freshman in college, but I'm still like,
you're a man now.
We walk to our neighbor's house, and it's some teachers from my school and a bunch of adults I've known. It's just, I'm the only person under 30 in the room, and I'm 18, and most of them are over 40. But it's cool. And I'm like, man, I'm drinking a beer here. I'm having a good time. And at some point, my mom is sitting kind of holding court, and a friend of hers goes, "Imelda, what was the thing? Did they straighten that out when the cop came to your house last week?" And I'm immediately like, "What?" And my mom goes, "Oh my gosh, this was the weirdest thing." And she looks at me and goes, "Honey, I wasn't even going to tell you about this." And I'm like, I'm immediately on DEFCON 1. I'm like, what happened? What do you mean the police came?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, honey, you know that man across the street who's always sweeping the sidewalk? There was a guy across the street who literally swept the sidewalk.
I wouldn't trust him either.
He was
what are you
just
doing
nuts.
out
He
there?
was just a crazy guy with a broom."
Stop it.
She goes, "Well, he called the police on me last week." And I'm like, I'm already like, I'm leaving this party to go kill that man now,
Oh, wait, was her sidewalk really filthy?
And apparently so. And so it's, and the room there's a hush. Everybody's listening. Like I'm in a room with 20 people and my mom is at the middle of it. She goes, "There's a knock on the door," and I open it, and it's a police officer, and he says, "I'm sorry to bother you, ma'am. I'm just responding to a call from your neighbor across the street." And she says, she's like, "Well, my gosh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I don't know how to say this, Mrs. Gorman, but that man called the police and said he has seen you. There was a little creek in the neighborhood." She goes, "Those ducks that come in your yard, he said that you're you're playing with the ducks in a sexual manner." And I literally, my brains explode out of my ears. And I go, "What?" And everyone kind of laughs uncomfortably. Mom goes, "She said I was performing oral sex on a male duck. The man said he saw me do that." Okay. And I am literally like, I'm shaking, so angry and weird and freaked out. And plus my mom's telling this to a group of people. And I'm like, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh." She goes, and I said, "Officer, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I mean, I don't even, she starts kind of clearing her throat. And then she picks up her drink and takes a sip. And she's like, "Oh my." She starts to cough. She puts her hand to her mouth. And she had torn up a napkin into tiny pieces in her hand. And she coughed into her hand, and it looked like she blew feathers out of her hand.
That's fantastic.
And the roof...
I love that her friend set it up.
The roof blew off the house with laughter. And I was just... I stood there like... Mom! I could not make sense of what I had just seen.
Good. Because your mom just told a blowjob joke.
Exactly. The funniest part for everyone else, there was there was laughing at the joke, but then there was laughing at her son's reaction to the joke. I mean, I was stupefied.
Yeah.
And my brain's going, that's hilarious. Your mom is cool. And then my gut's going, go smack all these people and tell my mom she needs to go to confession. I was like, I was so twisted up by that.
Too much cool.
It was, and I mean, literally, within a few minutes, though, I was like, man, that is the funniest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. But I mean, no one saw it coming.
Yeah, no, that's going to be, people out there right now are thinking, I'm using that joke this weekend.
It was a
That's a good joke.
It was a performance. It was a performance for the ages.
Yeah, you saw your mom as a human being entertaining your pals.
There was also, I mentioned, she sang barbershop. She was in a quartet and in a giant chorus.
She was an entertainer.
And oh my God, she was a star in all the local theater. You know, she was Golda and Fiddler on the Roof and the Mother Superior and Sound of Music.
Wait,
you know, she did the big
didn't
parts.
You call your dad Duck? Okay, I'm not.
That's true.
All right.
That at the time he was already gone, and then the whole thing. See, there was that subplot too, which is this is just getting weirder.
Yeah, I got off. So anyway, Mom, where were we at? The Barbershop Quartet.
No, I'm saying she was a performer. She had always done that sort of stuff, and then she was in plays. But that performance at the cocktail party with the duck joke, that was just that was top shelf. Just a whole nother level. On the KQ
no wonder
text
she
line,
invited you.
Yeah, the KQ text line. Someone wrote, in 1963, Mom bought a record player from Sears. It came with 3 albums, Trini Lopez, Don Ho, and Meet the Beatles.
Oh.
The rest was history. All Beatle albums, the 2 movies. My mom cried during Hard Day's Night. Stones, Birds, Dylan, etc. I was 8, the middle of 5 boys, and Mom endorsed a rock and roll house, and she's still rocking KJ in Wisconsin. Amazing. Hell yes.
Yeah, my mom, my first stereo was her 8-track player. She had the 8-track player. I really wanted a stereo. We didn't have money. She said, take my 8-track player upstairs into the room. And so I inherited her 8-tracks that she'd always be cleaning to. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, big Rod Stewart fan, Faces with Rod Stewart.
That's cool.
Love those. Yeah, Three Dog Night. She had them all the 8 tracks of Three Dog Night.
That's amazing.
Golden Biscuits.
Golden Biscuits.
Yeah, that was
what was the music scene in the Lee household?
Oh, God, show tunes.
Show tunes.
Yeah, Cookie she'd go to parties and play piano and sing.
That had
was
almost
the entertainer.
No influence on you whatsoever.
Oh God, that's it. Sundays it was show tunes and takeout pizza and Sunday papers. The room.
Oh,
but Cookie,
times.
I realized that she was a cool human being when she was taking me and my sister to the circus, and there was no parking anywhere. It was super crowded downtown. So she goes, "Okay, now kids, just be quiet." And she pulls into this gas station, and she launches into character. She's like, "Hi, I'm not from here. I can't find a place to park. I just want to take my kids to the circus. It's a new experience for them. Can I park here temporarily?" And the guy was like, "Oh, yeah, sure, if it's not too long." And I'm like, she's like, "Don't say anything, kids." But saw my mom go into character and be kind of a scam artist was so impressive.
That's great.
Tony's mom, the scam out of that.
Cookie is cool.
She jived you into a circus. That's Mom. They do Mom. They pull superhuman feats. They surprise us, and
yeah. My mom, she got pulled over we were on vacation. She was a leadfoot, man, and she got pulled over. And the state trooper. We were in South Carolina in a town called Monk's Corners. Look it up. And the guy, "Oh, man, I told you, you're doing 81 and a 55 or whatever it was. At the time, 55, federal speed limit.
Sure.
And she said, "Oh, officer, I'm so sorry. This is a newer car, and I just, I'm still getting used to it." It was, but she knew what she was doing. And he said, "License registration." She says, "Of course I have the registration." And she opened her glove box, and it was tucked into her Bible.
Oh, that's great.
It was her Bible bookmark. She goes, "It's right here." She opened it up. She goes, "Here you go." And the guy he said, "Ma'am, I'm going to let you off with a warning." And we're all in the back seat going, "Wow, Mom!" Using the Bible's great.
I know. And then he went and called his mom.
Pretty
Mom,
much.
I miss you.
I miss you, Mom, in them days when we used to listen and read the Bible verses.
She used to whack me with the Bible when I did wrong.
That's so great. A little over an hour from now, Greg Proops will be with us. He's from Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's a very, very, very funny gentleman. We're going to give away tickets in about 40 minutes. What are we giving away tickets for today? Oh, that's right. It's to see Iron Maiden, because what says Happy Mother's Day more than Iron Maiden tickets?
That's it right there. My mom's favorite band.
See, Dot rocks. And for right now, though, I do want to share a little information with our listeners. Candace Wheeler is no longer with us on the KQ Morning Show. Now, we love Candace, and of course, we wish her the best moving forward. Those are not empty words. That's not a script. We love Candace to bits. And for me personally, I can't imagine the last 16 months, which were my first 16 months in Minnesota, without her. So I'm forever indebted to her, and I'm forever her friend. And I know so many of our listeners feel the exact same way, too. So onward and upward, Candace. We will all enjoy watching you soar.
Yes.
And with that, we will take a break. We'll be back very shortly. Hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, May the 10th. Sunday is Mother's Day. And we were running a little competition, Classic Rock for Mom. Our friends at Riddle's Jewelry were helping us out. So I want to say congrats to Sherry, nominated by her husband, Tom. She's our winner of a Classic Rock for Mom from Riddle's Jewelry. Now, Tom, this is what Tom said. Sherry transitioned from coaching T-ball to becoming Mound, Minnesota's first female baseball coach.
Hot damn.
Her dedication to youth extended to her roles as committee chairman for both Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, as well as assistant scout master. When her son was diagnosed with lymphoma, Sherry prioritized his well-being. She arranged a schedule where she could be with him in Rochester, Minnesota every other week, facilitating daily visits to the Mayo Clinic for his treatment. Sherry, that sounds like a wonderful mom. And Tom, you guys, both of you, very well done. Congrats. You are the Classic Rock for Mom winner from Riddle's Jewelry.
I mean, Super Mom is almost redundant, isn't it?
That's really true. We're talking about moms today a good bit on the show because literally, where would we be without them? Well, we wouldn't be here. We know that much. Cool moms, great moms. It's funny because obviously we all have we know our moms took care of us, mostly. It's like you have these great stories and we all love our moms. But specifically, this is really more of an us-centric thing because it's not about when did our moms become cool. It's when did we get our heads out of our asses and realize our moms were cool.
All right.
That's the kind of thing we're talking about. But right now, I have to go into a little bit of a different direction. This is my favorite story in so long. Because I just love when the right thing goes horribly wrong. I'm going to do the right thing.
Great intentions.
The road to hell. We all know what it's paved with. So in North Carolina, a woman by the name of Rhonda Deaver. Now, that's a southern name, boy. Rhonda Deaver. That just said, I can smell hickory trees when you say that. Rhonda Deaver, a woman in North Carolina, went to a restaurant. A little place called, I believe, Smith's Cafe, and she left her credit card behind.
Whoops.
It happens.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, geez, I got to go back and find my credit card. But before she went back and found it, a restaurant employee spotted the card. And he thought, well, I'm going to track down the owner of this card. He didn't see the name on the card and then call 411 and get her number.
Yeah.
He took a photo of the credit card and put it on Facebook. It's a small town called Kinston. He's like, hey, does anybody know this woman? But here's the problem. He took a photo of the front and back of the credit card
and
posted it on Facebook. He didn't blur out a thing.
Okay.
He thought he was doing her a solid. The caption says, hey, guys, Mrs. Rhonda Deaver, you left your card here at the store. If you know her, let her know we have it and would love to make sure it's returned. We have placed it in a secure location. Again, that secure location is called the World Wide Web.
Oh, my gosh.
On Facebook.
Are you dumb or something?
With both sides of the credit card shown.
Oh, my. I'm picturing Billy Bob Thornton and Sling Blade.
Pretty much.
I'm picturing that guy. Trying to help out.
Put a picture of that credit card up there.
You dimwit.
Yeah, kind of a dimwit. So here's the deal. She got her card back.
He was just a dumbass.
There were over $2,000 in charges on that card.
Oh, my. Here
before
she
got
is.
control.
I couldn't believe that they did
Rhonda.
that, but I was sick thinking that I might be responsible for all those charges. It had been used a whole lot of declines, but a whole lot that went through. I live on a fixed income, and there's not like there's extra money every month to cover those bills that somebody else charged on my card.
Yeah, 2,000 smackers worth. The cafe's got to step up, right?
I mean, it's got to.
I know a small town cafe is operating on a very thin profit margin. I'm sure if there is, but you've got to step up a GoFundMe maybe for Ms. Devers.
It's it's the kind of thing where your first thought is, of course, or even mine. I was like, wow, this tiny little town. What kind of jerks live there? It's like, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's the internet.
Facebook.
It's got nothing to do with the town they're in, because it just takes one person to see that and immediately hit the button that says share, and then it's over. Honestly, $2 grand. She got lucky.
Yeah, she did get lucky. You'd almost think it was a scam, wouldn't you? That you want me to use that number, don't you? So you can get into my bank account information, whatever. But yeah, that's. Well, it's
funny. I remember. I almost did this to myself once. And we were just posting old, early photos of us. It was something years ago on my first radio show, and I still have my college ID, my last college ID, and it's a funny picture. I'm making a weird face, and I shaved my head. I look ridiculous. But on the front of that ID is your social security number. It's just like Steve Gorman, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And I took the picture and edited it on my phone, got it just perfectly cropped, and I set it up there. And I was about to hit send with the other two photos, and my producer goes, so you know that thing with 9 digits right there? And as soon as he said that, I was like, what? Oh, my God. I mean, I was less than a minute away from just going, dink.
They would still be using your identity to this day.
Well, and my identity, a few years later, my identity was stolen. Yeah. I don't know how. But then I look back at that and go, I mean, I almost did it myself. There's no telling what I did that I don't remember. I don't think I ever posted another photo of any of my personal information, but geez, totally crazy. But I just the part about this that I love too is the dude at the restaurant's like, I'm just gonna do my good deed for the day. He rode up on his high horse like, check this out. I'm gonna help Mrs. Rhonda Deaver. Again, dude, you can still call 411 and say, do you have a number for Rhonda Deaver? Or just get an address. Any number of things you can do beyond posting that online in clear, graphic, color photographs. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupefying. It's hard to kind of wrap your mind around it, but they'll help her out.
You ever had a Chevy?
Yes.
I had a Chevy truck. Yeah, I helped rebuild a 76 Chevy Silverado I had.
Car, Tony?
Big Chevy Impala.
A Chevy Impala.
Giant boat.
Wow. Well, the Chevy Malibu is still something that Chevrolet produces.
Yeah.
Until now. They have announced the Chevy Malibu is going to be killed off. By the way, that is the last standing Chevrolet 4-door sedan.
Yeah, boy.
They're out of the car business.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I mean, that's a shrinking
they've got,
commodity.
I shouldn't say they're out of the car business. They do still have Mustangs and then their Bolt, their electric vehicle.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But like a quote-unquote normal sedan, that's it. Beyond that, that's it for the Malibu. Everything else is a truck or an SUV.
There was always someone that had a Chevy Malibu, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
There was always a friend, a family member. I mean, very popular cars around for a long time. Nobody wants cars anymore unless they're electric vehicles. You want the SUVs, the crossovers. You guys remember this
hybrids.
Old 70s TV commercial?
We're going to show Grandma our new Chevy Malibu.
A freshly sliced apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
That's a
jingle. The 1979 Chevy Malibu has the right room, right headroom, leg room, and trunk room. The right size, new family midsize.
Looks like Bill bought himself a new Malibu.
The right ingredients, like an impressive mileage rating and a beautiful body by Fisher. It's got the right name, Chevrolet. No wonder it's a family favorite.
A freshly sliced apple pie
called Chevy Malibu.
The Chevy Malibu debuted in 1964, originally as a luxury version of the Chevelle. It was called the Chevelle Malibu.
If you bought a Malibu instead of a Chevelle.
And then in 1978, they spun it off at its old model. Now, the 64 Malibu is badass looking. I'm looking at a photo of one, and it's like, you're gonna go rob a bank and get the girl in that car.
Well, that's because they're trying to coax probably guys at the time out of the Chevelle. Well, I know you're a family guy now. You've got to get rid of that 2-door hot rod Chevelle. how about a Malibu? So it's going to be something you felt good about making the leap into. By the 80s, we didn't care, and it was a minivan and complete surrender.
The 64 Malibu, awesome. The 78 Malibu, it just screams boogie nights. It's disco and cocaine.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, the 2024 Malibu, it's just a Camry. I mean, it bears no resemblance to anything like it once did. So that's it. And I did not know this. Ford discontinued the Taurus in 2018. So Ford,
sedans are out, man.
Yeah, Ford has, the Mustang is the only traditional car they sell.
Yeah.
Chevy no longer does Camaros. I had no idea. Wow.
They don't do Camaros? Oh, okay.
Wow, they just things they are changing.
Yeah, they are changing. Yeah, if you're getting a sedan, you're probably getting a 4.0, and probably. I would think the German sedan's probably outselling just about any other sedan out there. I don't know.
I think the Camry is still the number one selling car.
Is it? Yeah. Well, that's just
Honda Accord is.
It's like a widget,
Yeah.
They get the job done,
Not coincidentally, the most sold and the most stolen car.
Right.
The Camry.
Is it? I think the Kias and the Hyundais.
If you have a Camry, if you have a Camry, it will be stolen. Just enjoy that fact. I remember very clearly, and anybody our age would, the Chevy versus Ford wars. I had friends who were so hard on one side or the other of that fence. I mean, my God,
I grew up in a Ford family, and they had, you'd have the little Calvin cartoon character peeing on a Chevy.
Yeah, that's right. Sure.
I'm trying to think of not the Chevron. What was it called? The Chevy. Anyway, the Chevy.
The thing. The Chevy thing.
Bow tie.
Here's my favorite. This is a level of pettiness that I have nothing but respect for. Nothing but respect for. A gentleman lives in a neighborhood where lives in an entire city where they have some restrictions. This is a guy who lives in a neighborhood, small houses, little 16th of an acre lots, just boom, 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 boom. A nice standard American neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And he has a boat, and he parks it next to his house in the driveway. So he backs his boat in, and it's not out in front of the house. It's right alongside the house.
99% of people do.
The city came in and said, we don't allow, you have to put up a fence to block the boat so you can't see it from the street. It was just they said, hey, this is what we got to do. And he said,
what?
They said, we need you to put up a fence.
It's not like it's a washer or dryer sitting out there, an old transmission.
It's a boat on a trailer, and the city said we have a restriction. And by the way, I will say this too. This is not like Beverly Hills. This is a middle class, just totally, as I would say, normal looking neighborhood. He said, okay, fine. So he put up, he crossed off his driveway with a big white fence, like a big gate, a swing, probably 10 feet across at least.
All right.
And then he hired a painter who came over and painted the boat. And if you drive by where the boat is parked, you can see the top of the boat over the fence, and it's painted perfectly to look like it's the boat, like it would if there was no fence there.
I didn't even realize there was.
Am I explaining this clearly?
I'm looking at the picture right now. I didn't know that was. I thought that
it looks like a boat in a driveway. Yeah. It's a fence that's painted to look like a boat in a driveway. It's incredible.
That's sticking it to the man.
I love it. I mean, because I guarantee you, and it didn't come cheap. It's so well done. I'm sure it was a couple grand to get a guy to come out and paint.
It looks 3D.
First of all, you got to paint. You got to put the fence up. That's a pain in the ass. That's a day at Home Depot at least. Yeah. And then you got to make sure it works, and you got to put the posts in and get those in cement. I mean, it's a bit of a process.
They've painted the side of the house, the chimney brick into this fence. I mean, it's
gorgeous.
It's brilliant. It's one of those 3D painting. It has all the shading. There's the shrubs. You wouldn't even know there was a fence there if you didn't take a good long look at it. I love it.
Anybody walking by might notice. If you're driving by at 7 miles an hour or faster, you will never know it's a fence. It's great.
They're down there at that city council meeting or HOA. I don't know what the issue is here. Whoever's in charge of this, but they're down there wringing their hands right now. Well, can we outlaw a painting of a boat on a fence? I don't know.
Completely insane.
Attaboy.
I like it.
Fight the good fight.
We tell a lot of travel stories on this show because at least once a week there's a story about a plane with either a crazy person on the plane
every week.
There's a lot of vomit stories. There's diarrhea stories. There's
sex on planes.
I saw a ghost in the bathroom stories. I mean, we have all lost our collective minds when it comes to travel. There's every flight you get on, you got to wonder like, okay, who's the crazy person on this plane? This is my favorite one in a while. Southwest Airlines, multiple passengers shared videos during the flight. Now, the crazy part is no one saw this happening. They just saw the result, which was, long story short, a female passenger with a blanket and a pillow in the overhead bin, stretched out, sleeping.
How?
It's a tiny person.
How does no one notice you getting in?
That's what I'm saying.
First of all,
I don't know.
You need an assist. You need a stirrup lift, right?
Someone's got from the chair. If you could, if she stands on the armrest,
but it hangs out. She's got it's like trying to, logistically I'm having. But all right, so she does it, but you don't notice that she kind of has to monkey swing into it. And wow, that's weird.
So this is a Southwest flight, so it's not like it's an overnight flight. They don't do red eyes. Last I checked, they don't fly over to Europe when everyone's asleep for half the flight.
One of big 757s or something.
But I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of just the execution of this because again, there's all these comments. It's a video on TikTok, and nobody seems to know. Nobody was aware of the fact that she was getting up there. So I mean, it could have been an evening or an early morning flight.
Sure,
and if she's quiet, and it's towards the back of the plane, not that many people are going to be aware. Hell, if she was in the first aid boarding group, she could have run back there and hopped in before anybody even got on board.
Was it open? I mean, where's the flight attendant coming by? Those things aren't open for a second before they're slamming them shut.
I don't know, but
sounds a little claustrophobic.
I don't know, but I like it. I just because there's not that many times you can say, hey, I've never seen this on a plane before.
All right.
It's pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, I guess if as long as they don't bring the plane down in Omaha halfway through, and that would annoy me. But yeah, I suppose.
When did we all figure out our moms were cool? On the KQ Talking text line, Big Al texted, I always knew my mom was cool. The one thing that elevated her coolness was the time she washed and dried my jean jacket. The thing was, my newly acquired ounce of weed in the pocket.
Ooh.
I immediately panicked and reached into the pocket. My bag was still there, perfectly dry. Turns out she found it, took it out, and returned it to the jacket once the jacket was dried.
Very cool.
Whoa.
Hey, Big Al, get us bronze statue of that woman and put it up in Town Square.
God almighty. And probably it was a little light. I'm guessing it was light one joint.
I was going to say, yeah.
I'm just saying.
What was the tariff on that delivery? My mom one time, okay, this is, talk about how stupid we were. So I'm in 7th grade, 9th grade, 11th grade. That's the three youngest boys, 7th, 9th, and 11th. And for some reason, all the boys in my school, overnight, all of a sudden, we all had to have a condom in our wallet.
Of course you did.
Because you just never know. Well, I knew,
you had to have it, you had to show it.
I knew, but I wanted to think I didn't know. Hey, it's like when you wear high tops because you're like, well, I don't know if a game's going to break out. Might have to play some ball. I'm 7th grade. I have a Prime lubricated with SK70 condom in my wallet because you never know. So my mom and so my brother's in 9th grade, and of course he has one. My 11th grade brother didn't. He was just not, he was on a different wavelength.
Because he was already having sex.
Probably so.
Yeah, it was like.
But my mom going through the laundry, and then she found a condom in my brother's in the front pocket.
Dun, dun, dun.
And there was no telling her, Mom, we just do it because it's cool. I mean, she was just like, no. And he had a girlfriend. She was like, you are. I mean, she lost her mind, and it was there. And Doug was the coolest of all of us. Like with my parents, he just had like I'd get freaked out. My brother Dave would get angry. Doug would just be like, just relax, everybody. He just had he's just always was the king. And he was just like, Mom, and like, I could have never said this. He goes, Mom, I haven't used that. I've never had sex. We just think it's cool. We're stupid kids. We think it's cool and funny.
Yeah.
He was completely, and I was like, You're just telling her the truth?
Right.
Wow.
That works.
Whoa. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. I mean, I would have said, like, it's not mine, it's Brooks. His mom found out that he gave it to me. I wouldn't have even known.
Sorry, my pants.
I would have never known to take a deep breath and gone, I'm just a dumb kid, Mom. I wish I'd had a use for this.
A level of maturity I still haven't achieved.
Shocking. And again, but to her credit, that was another one of those times when all I'm thinking is, boy, we're done. We're done. But Dad's going to get home and kill us. And no, she didn't tell my dad.
Yeah.
She took his word for it. Someone just texted, hey, Chevy doesn't make the Mustang anymore. It's always been Ford. I know that. Did I say the Chevy Mustang? If I did. I
didn't catch that
either. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't look back, and I make mistakes all the time, but I can't let it stand that someone might think I don't know that the Mustang is a Ford.
Well, I couldn't figure out the Chevy logo thing either. But, I mean, it's...
I'm a Ford family. I'm a Detroit guy, and all the Gormans that worked, they were all Ford people. So I just couldn't let that one sit.
I thought we were just talking about cars they're still making, gas cars they're still making. But, right. You did mention the Camaro, which, of course, was a Chevy. I guess they're not making the Camaro. They'll bring the Camaro back. It'll be an electric vehicle, or it'll be, okay, here goes my phone. Do we have the phones all sorted out?
Does it sound like? It sounds like we might have the phone sorted out.
Dog.
Maybe. I am hoping that they were.
Your big
Shannon,
tease.
Toss a coin in the air. Let's see what happens. Who you got?
So
probably somebody pissed off about the Chevy Mustang thing.
So his name is Anonymous. Anonymous, can you hear me?
Hippopotamus.
Anonymous, can you hear me?
He's still on hold looking at my phone.
He's hacking the Pentagon.
Here we go. Try this again. Buttons. I know. Pound on it. Give it the Fonzie.
It's not working. I don't know why it's doing this.
That's frustrating.
We should every segment revisit this.
Those online guys at Anonymous could fix this. They could hack right in.
Anonymous, can you hear me?
Well.
I can hear you.
Oh, my
God.
Wow.
God, is that you?
My goodness gracious. I feel like we just found a squirrel in the attic. All right, Anonymous, what have you got for us? Go quick before this thing explodes.
All right, so I'm anonymous because I didn't want my wife to know that I'm telling the story. She would be a little bit mortified and everything. But so you guys were telling an airplane over-the-head bin story, and I think I got another one that at least rivals that and everything. So this was a number of years ago, I think with our second or third kid. My wife was pregnant and on a trip to New York or somewhere. And on the way back, so she has to pump because that stuff is like, you got to do something with it. Then you got to save it because it's liquid gold and everything.
Sure.
And this was before things got easy for nursing mothers. That like she was stuffed into like a broom closet to have to pump and everything. It's all very harried. She packs everything up on ice and whatnot, puts it into her bag. When landing, the first guy to open the bin is hit with a deluge of breast milk.
Oh.
It's like, what in the world is this? My wife somehow grabs her bag, grabs her friend, and they rush out of there like they just robbed a bank or something like that. Absolutely mortified, but
wow.
Yeah, that remains my favorite airplane over the head bin.
Nice.
That is
so
strong.
How was your flight? Well, open the overhead bin. Got a face full of breast milk.
Man.
And he wouldn't have had any clue what it was, but the pressure popped the caps
open.
The
caps off. Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank you for that, sir. That was worth the wait. We appreciate it.
Happy weekend, guys.
I could tell. It'd be great if the guy was a doctor and he's literally like, She likes pineapple.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's nice. They say there's celebrities that are drinking it now. That's a big thing out in Hollywood.
Stop.
No,
are you serious?
I just read about it last week. I think we had the story, but we didn't get around to it.
Drinking their own or sharing?
No, they're drinking. They're having women are pumping it and they're selling it, and it's very healthy, I guess, for you. And it's supposed to keep your skin looking young and that sort of thing.
Hey, man, I mean, if it works for Tom Cruise, maybe. Then who are we to judge?
Put a little Nestle Quick in there, maybe. Stir that in. I could probably choke it down.
Nothing says Mother's Day quite like Iron Maiden tickets.
Yeah, baby.
What are we going to do? Explain this. It's time to go, baby.
Callers 9 and 2, 651-989-ROCK. This morning we're playing Match the Mom. Tickets to 92 KQRS presents Iron Maiden October 22nd at the Xcel Energy Center. Prize provided by Live Nation. Our runner-up today, kickoff to summer at Fair, May 23rd at the Minnesota Fairgrounds. Prize provided by the Minnesota State Fair. Thank you. And Live Nation. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck. And hang tight.
Back. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, May the 10th. About 30 minutes from right now, Greg Proops is calling in. Whose line is it anyway? Which is an outstanding thing to experience on television and even a better thing to experience live in person. Whose line is it anyway? Is at the Pantages tonight and at the State Theater tomorrow night. Greg Proops is one of the funnier gentlemen on the planet. The guy in the glasses. That's if you're wondering which one of those gentlemen he is. He's the guy in the cool glasses, a sharp dresser, and just as fast and furious a comic mind as there is. I cannot wait to chat with him. That is, like I said, they're in town tonight and tomorrow night. You know who else is in town tonight? The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Hosting Game 3 of the Western semifinals against the defending champion Denver Nuggets. And, boy.
Edwards on top. He'll put up a three. Bullseye.
The Wolves.
I tell you what, man. It's a big one. It's a big one tonight for the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
You never underestimate the heart of a champion. We'll see if Denver's going to get off the mat and make this a series, because if they lose tonight, it is over with a capital O for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, that's right.
What?
Iron Maiden, October 22nd at the Xcel Energy Center. We would love to give tickets away to a listener. We've also got tickets to kick off to summer at Fair, May 23rd at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. But we're going to make you earn them. We got a game to play, Tony.
Yes, we do indeed. We love our mamas. So let's play this fun thing.
Come give your mama a kiss. Mamma mia. Hey, Mom!
We're going to play Match the Mom. Famous moms, celebrity moms, moms from the land of TV, movies, and entertainment. We're going to give you the name of their kiddos, and you tell us the name of the mom.
I like it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Mama.
Oh, Mama. We used to play. We had a deck of cards with the kids, and it was the cards. It was like those memory games where it's like, where you teach your kid, like you turn all the cards face down, and then you turn them over, and you try to get pairs.
2 goldfish and 2 dogs.
Yeah. And it was an adult and a baby animal was the 2 different cards, and so the game ultimately. In the Gorman household, it ended up being called Mama Baby, and so the kids would play Mama Baby in the cards, and it'd be like that's an adult rabbit and the little bunny rabbit, and the kids just loved, and they would always be like, let's play Mama Baby, and I do remember very clearly at some point that had become uncool, and no one told me, and I looked at my kids who were like 5 and 7, and I looked at Marley, the baby, and I was like, do you want to play Mama Baby? And she literally, it's the first time she rolled her eyes at me. Oh my God, that is so 4 and I'm 5. It was one of those. I was like, I miss Mama Baby. So this will be fun. All right, with that in mind, Shannon, I believe we have a couple of callers, or do we need a second caller?
No, so we have both of our callers.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to say this right now. We've got Brad from Ramsey, and then we've got Mike from Bloomington. But because of everything that's been happening this morning, what Brad is supposed to be first, but if Mike all of a sudden comes on first, I'm doing my best over here.
All right. We'll find it out. Open a phone line. Let's see what happens.
But Brad should be on the line. Brad, are you there?
Oh.
Brad?
Yes? Hey guys, how's it going? I love Zep.
Let
he's
the
my
pigeons
favorite.
loose.
All right, let's play this game.
Oh man,
you mother.
This is tough. We just had it all figured out.
Oh, we.
Okay, well, I guess. Okay. How about this, Mike? I mean, maybe if Brad's not there, Mike's going to figure it out. All right,
guys, are you there?
We got nobody. We're spinning plates over here.
I have no idea why. It was just working like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe if we played that song, that March of the Baby Elephants music, they'd come on.
That's a fun idea. I think we could all use that right now. You know what I have queued up right now?
There it is. I think this is going to help.
Okay.
You or me.
There it is. Yeah. If I had an organ.
If I had a bong.
That's the first thing I'd learn to play. All right. Maybe we're going to have to play this game.
Okay.
We can't win the tickets.
Oh, I'm not going to Matt. First of all, you watched every television show. You remember every line from every TV show, and
that's why
I can't even remember how to spell mom.
Okay, I think I might have this right.
Okay.
All right.
Boy,
Mike, can you hear me? Mike, are you there? What is going on? It worked perfectly fine like 5 minutes ago.
Props to you, Shannon, for continuing to put your finger in the fan.
Hello.
I really do not understand why this is not working.
I'm sorry.
Hello, police. I'd like to report a buzzkill in progress.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Love your show.
Oh, sure. I guess at this point we're just...
Looks like we're experiencing technical difficulty.
Oh, my God.
But don't worry, folks. We're still on the air.
Do you guys want to play?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let's
You want to play Match the Mom?
Am I going to get the Iron Maiden tickets? I'm not going to win. All right.
No.
Let's make Steve look better.
We're not allowed to win the tickets, which is my way of saying, I'm winning this bad boy.
A
All right, but we can get Mike and Brad's. I'll play for Mike, and you play for Brad.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
Really? See, now I'm like Brad. Now I like Brad because I'm like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I'm wearing the pirate hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Brad.
Live it.
Yes, I know the rules, Brad. All right, cool. So I'm Brad. Zepp is Mike. Let's do this.
All right.
Okay. Number 1, Wednesday Adams.
I mean, is this first to answer? Do we each get our own? Who's going first?
Is it Brad or Mike's turn?
You want to go first?
I'll go first because
Mike is
he's
up.
going to win. All right.
Okay, I'll give the kiddo name, and you tell me mama name.
Morticia.
Well, I was going to go ABC, but you jumped the gun. But you got it right.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
You said Wednesday, right?
Mike
Wednesday
Zepp
Adams.
on the board.
I know that one.
Nice.
Atta boy.
All right,
Very nice.
next up for Mike.
Pebbles. Is it Velma, Wilma, or Velcrola?
Wilma.
Yes, that is correct.
I had to listen to Fred yell her name because Velma almost. Yeah, right.
Number 3, Rudy Huxtable. Mom, Cher, Derriere, or Claire?
Claire.
Good for you.
Cher.
Yes. Felicia Rashad. Number 4, Richie, Joni, and Chuck. Mom, Edwina, Marion, or Penelope?
Oh, Marion.
That is correct.
Am I weird because I had a thing for her?
No, not at all. She was.
And wasn't her
she
name,
would get frisky.
What was
remember?
the actress's name? Marion Ross, right? Wasn't she? Wasn't her
Yes.
name?
Ross?
Yeah.
And she was Marion Cunningham.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
How about that? Howard.
I saw Howard driving a Rolls Royce on Sunset Boulevard.
That's awesome.
I was like,
Pulled up in a
Mr.
Rolls?
C, well done, dude.
Was he in a chauffeur outfit?
No.
Well, the hardware business did quite well.
Yes, it did.
Number 5, Kate Hudson is Mama. Hoda Kotb, Goldie Hawn, or Lizzo?
All right. I'll go with Goldie Hawn.
All right, your last one. You're doing very well,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Mark.
Mike is killing it.
Yeah.
Shiloh, Pax, Maddox, Vivienne, Knox, and Zahara. Is Mama Emma Stone, Oprah, or Angelina Jolie?
Miss Jolie.
Yes.
Wow.
Jolie.
Well done.
You're welcome, Mike. That's I outperformed my expectations.
Mike Zepp just went 6 for 6. Let's see what Brad Gorman does.
All right, Brad Gorman. Number 1, Ben Stiller. Mama is Chaka Khan, Ann Mira, or Nikki Glazer?
Anna Mira.
Very good.
All right, I think I may have this.
No, don't take it away from me.
1, 2, 3,
We're
4,
proxying
5.
for these guys.
Here's the thing. I've tried everything,
Yeah.
and for some reason it's just not working. But let's try this one more time. Hello, caller. Are you on the air? God, that sounds so cliche now. Hello?
No, it doesn't, because it's silence, and that's an FCC violation. All right, here we go.
KQ.
Shannon, I love the effort. I'm telling you, we're playing honestly for these guys.
We're putting her on the HD2 channel.
We're their proxies. We're doing this.
I'm just a night chick. I don't do mornings.
Night chick.
Oh man, I'm just a night chick. The story of that's the name of the autobiography. I look forward to it.
Number 2, Jack and Kelly Osbourne and Mama Sharon, Shakira, or Sharona?
Sharon Osbourne.
Number 3, Blue Ivy is Mama Beyonce, Bouncy, or Bertha.
I'm pretty sure that's the queen, Beyonce.
Yes. All right. Oh, this is too easy. Number 4, Marcia, Jan, Cindy, Bobby, Peter, and Greg. Mama is Zendaya, Carol, or Giselle.
From Owensboro, Kentucky. That would be Carol.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. So that's where she's from?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But
I agree.
But was that one of our contestants?
I think it was. Guys, if you're on the phone, just hang on for a second. Hang on.
Shannon Knight doesn't know when to quit.
No, I think I really do think I found it.
I realize the game's over practically.
I know.
Are we gonna have these? You know what? Finish it up for Brad Gorman here, and then if they're ready, Brad and Mike can do the tiebreaker.
Okay.
All right, Brad and Gorman. Courtney, Kim, Chloe, and Rob Kardashian is Mama. Shirley Partridge, Kawhi Leonard, or Kris Jenner?
Well, one of them's dad was OJ, but the mom was definitely Kris Jenner.
That's correct. And your last one, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. Mama is Madonna, Marge, or Mimi.
Man, it's a milk run right here. I'm trying to avoid the tiebreaker, but I can't in good conscience do that, so I'm going to say it's Marge.
All right.
All right.
We've done well by the boys. They really can have the tiebreaker.
So if we have Mike and Brad.
Mike's here.
Mike, good morning, brother.
Woo. Good morning.
Is Brad with us?
Brad is here.
Wow.
How about that?
Well, guys, good news for the two of you. We played in your stead, and we both went 6 for 6. Right. So, unfortunately, you didn't get the thrill of all the competition, but now for all the marbles, it's tiebreaker time. Tony's going to ask a question.
Yes.
We'll take Mike's answer first and then Brad's. Good luck, gentlemen.
Here's what I'm going to do. This perhaps will go into double tiebreaker, which is totally cool. I'm going to give them each two of our names, and they have to guess our mom's names.
Ooh.
Great.
And if they tie in that, then they have an ultimate tiebreaker.
Okay.
Wow, strong.
Who's up first here?
Mike is up first.
Okay, Mike.
I'm here.
The child is Brian Zepp. Do you know Mama's name?
I do not.
Okay, that would be
Dottie. That's hot dot to you.
All right. How about Tony? What's my mama's name?
No idea.
Okay, Cookie.
Dottie, Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
All right.
Come on.
Now,
we're not making these up.
The next lad.
So strong. All right, Brad. You're up, buddy.
All right, thanks. Ready.
Steve's mama. Steve Gorman's saint of a mom.
I would say Jenna.
It is, Doc. It is.
Jenna Jameson.
I love the effort.
Imelda.
Imelda.
Lovely Imelda.
Was anybody named Jenna?
I'm going to call her
95 years ago.
I'm going to call her Sunday and say, Jen, what's going on, babe?
All right. Well, okay, next up is Shannon's mom. I don't expect you to know this. Take a shot. Shannon's mom.
Linda.
Okay. All right. Ultimate tiebreaker time.
What was the answer? What's Shannon's mom? Cindy.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, fellas.
So now it's double secret probation tiebreaker.
Okay. Fellas, Germany is home to more than 1,300 breweries producing how many brands of beer? How many?
How many, Mike?
I'll guess 1,100.
1,100, says Mike. Brad, what's your answer?
1,099.
The answer is just over 5,000.
Oh, man.
One by one.
That was quite a stretch. How many breweries did you say?
Just over 5,000.
No. That's how many brands. How many actual breweries?
1,300.
So it was 1,300 breweries. So we knew it was going to be at least that many. That's
Yes.
all right.
There's that many in St. Paul alone now.
Mike, you are the winner, sir. You got tickets to see Iron Maiden at the XL Energy Center.
I'm exhausted.
Brad, you also have, as a runner-up, Kickoff to Summer at Fair tickets May 23rd at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. May 23rd is Imelda's birthday.
Oh,
there you have it, gentlemen.
That brings it all full circle.
Thank you for not playing Match the Bomb on KQRS The Morning Show.
Slick.
Yeah, it
wow. Man, I tell you what, that was, whew.
Thank God it wasn't Beat the Toaster.
Good God Almighty, we'd both be on the
my
We'd
God.
be a puddle on the floor if it was.
I would have stormed out of here.
Oh,
I'd be
my
like
gosh.
keying Steve's car right now.
That's something right there. Whose line is it anyway? The very, very, very fantastic improv troupe TV show for going back 40 years. I think that originally came from England, the original version, I believe. Man, I have enjoyed these guys for as long as I remember enjoying much in my life. They're in town tonight and tomorrow night. And Greg Proops from Whose Line Is It Anyway will be joining us on the KQ Morning Show in just a few minutes. Hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Friday, May the 10th. In a few minutes, Greg Proops is calling in. He's from Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's an exceptionally funny man and also just a hell of a good guy. So we'll catch up with him, see what's happening. Minnesota Timberwolves, Game 3 tonight. Oh, good God almighty at the Target Center. Guess who is sitting courtside?
No, are you?
No, of course not.
We started the show with,
Are you kidding?
I gotta try and round up a ticket for tonight's game. And here we are a couple hours in. I'm like, you son of a, you got
not
a
a
freaking
chance.
courtside
Oh my God.
seat.
No, but I did look online. I went to Ticketmaster for the, of course, the resale market.
Yeah.
You can get a good seat for $1,000.
Oh, okay.
And you can get a bad seat for $600.
Ooh,
or
man.
you can just sit at home like I'm going to do and order in some wings and then watch myself some basketball.
High definition, comfortable seat, replay, rewind, pause. It's all working for you. I do like to go to the big events. We've talked about that before. I like to be at the big games. You know, just the energy is there. But most of the time, I'd just rather be at home watching it. It's getting too good at home. You know,
I'm with you. I still like basketball in person. There's a couple. Well, the two sports, soccer and hockey, the night and day better when you're there. Just no question about it.
That's so true.
The NFL, boy, that is. I mean, they made a decision early. Let's make this great on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun to go to the games, but my gosh, the way those the every network handles it so well now, and you just have all the replays right away. You know, the first time, I remember my son, who's a sports fanatic, the first time where we went to see an NFL game. I mean, it was end of the first quarter, and he's just like, "This is it." I don't get the replays. I don't get the,
and they're tiny.
Just so used to it. Yeah, and it's like, you just got the one.
Have you ever done this? And I've done this a couple of times, especially when the Steelers have come to town the few times over the years and played the Vikings in town. I really want to watch the game. I go to the game. I get beer spilled on me. I probably spill some beer on people. I do a whole lot of talking and yelling, and then I go home and watch the game.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, then I'll go home and actually watch and it'll be surprising to me if I actually sit there and am engaged in the game at a stadium or even a gym or something like that, and then go home and watch the game. I missed a lot.
Yeah. Or if you're there, you watch it on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, or you just end up sitting there up on the third deck.
You're watching TV anyway.
And you're still very expensive seats, drinking your still very expensive beer, and you're watching it on a Jumbotron. That has occurred to me. I'm like, what am I doing?
We had such a great, so we lived in Nashville. My son was 6 or 7. And the Colts were in town, Titans' arch division rival. Well, my cousin, at the time, 2 of my cousins, their brothers, my first cousins, both worked for the Colts in the front office, very close with the owner, Jim Irsay. Yeah. So we have the red carpet. So we go down. We're sitting in the visiting team's owner's box for a game. Oh. And what they had in there was all the popcorn you could eat. And my son is just like, this is awesome, man.
Yeah.
And Irsay, the owner of the Colts, great guy. He comes over and he's like, hey, Connell, what do you think? And he's just like, hey, this is a nice older guy. And I'm just like, oh my God. All I'm thinking is like, don't spill a drink on him, because he's like, but we had a great game. And so for the fourth quarter, my cousin goes, do you guys want to go on the sideline for the fourth quarter?
Oh, fun.
And we're like, yeah, but my son's wearing, he's got some Titans gear, but he has to keep it zipped up because we're going to the Colts sideline.
Oh.
And he's 6. I'm whatever I am. I've never been on the sideline for I'm like, oh my God, yeah, let's go down there.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we go watch the fourth quarter from the Colts sideline, and the Titans line up a 60-yard field goal with no time left to win the game. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, well, there's no way this guy's going to hit it. Well, he hits it. So the stadium is going crazy. But right before the kick, my cousin looks at Connell, my son, who I'm holding. He goes, you cannot celebrate if he hits this kick. And he's dead. No, he's dead serious.
Oh, wow.
He goes, hey, man, don't just wait till you get off the sideline. And I looked at him, and he goes, I'm serious. We're surrounded by the team and their coaching staff, and they don't give a rat's ass who the cute 6-year-old kid is. Yeah. It's like all business. God. And Rob Baronis hits this ball for the Titans, and it goes through. No time. It might have been like 62 yards. I mean, it was a bomb. Mm-hmm. And my son's looking at me, and I'm just like, no, don't. And I'm like, he's like, but he's losing his mind. And we run up to the tunnel. I set him down, and he goes, now. I go, now. And he goes, yeah! Like, dancing around, jumping.
Running him out of there like he had to puke or something.
Seriously.
He had to puke out a big holler. Yeah. Hey, this is maybe Proops is ready to go. All right, let's try it.
Oh, we got him. Is Greg Proops on the phone right now? Greg, good morning, brother.
Good morning. How are you,
Shannon? I'm so thrilled to hear your voice. We've had some phone issues, but you came through. You sound great, Greg. How's your day so far?
Oh, awesome. I always get up 12 hours before I go to work, and so this is a really special morning.
Oh, man. I love that. We were just talking football. A lot of people don't know. You played, 16 seasons in the NFL. Man, what a career. And then the switch to comedy?
Yeah, I was with a smaller club. I was with the Pocatello Troopers. We only lasted. We went semi-pro, and then we went back. And they accused me of point shaving, but the truth is, with my glasses, I can barely see where the goal is.
Right, sure, but it's still in your blood. I mean, it's your first love. And then the comedy thing. Who saw that second win coming? So very well played. How long have you been with Whose Line Is It Anyway?
1962. We started during the Kennedy administration when televisions were powered by steam, Steve, and we've been on the air since then. The other day, a woman who was older than me, if that's possible, came up to me and told me that she doesn't watch the show. She used to love the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I said, it's still on. And she went, I can't find it anymore.
Nice.
We've been on the CW for the last 10 years, and no one has watched, which has been awesome.
Well, I was going to say, that's a neat trick to pull off, 10 years without an audience. Well played.
I know, right? So we're here this weekend doing the live show with Ryan and me and Joel Murray, who's Bill Murray's brother. Mm-hmm. And so it's horrible because a lot of them are richer than I am, and I'm funnier than they are.
Isn't that always the case? You got artists and then you got performers, and sometimes, the Venn diagram's just not what it should be.
Why should my light be hid under a bushel when I'm dragging them behind me artistically? That's all I'm asking.
Tonight at the Pantages, tomorrow night at the State. How many shows are this tour? It looks like you've been out for a while, and you're still out for a while. How many shows are we looking at this year?
We're not allowed to tell Ryan because Ryan is phobic about traveling. We have 70 more dates this year, you guys. We've already done 40 dates.
Yeah.
We do over 100 dates a year. We're pretty hard work. Even though we're of a certain age, we call ourselves the Antique Roadshow now, but we're still out there a million days a year. We're also in Rochester on this Sunday, which is quite near Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Possibly not out of the range of your radio broadcast.
Not at all.
It's right there in the fringe. Mayo Clinic.
This tour runs through November, but you are finishing strong in Honolulu. Is that so? You work like a dog all year, and then you get a couple days at the beach. That's not too bad.
Yeah, no, we're going to New York and Hawaii at the end of the year, which is going to be great. And then I'm going to go to London to do Nightmare Before Christmas. Danny Elfman wrote it. Danny Elfman from Boingo and all the composing. We do it live at Wembley Arena, so that's pretty boss. That's on December 11th and 12th in London. So I don't quit working once we go off the road. I actually work with real artists.
I've been in London in December, and the whole city is Christmas crazy. There's no place better to be that time of year. That's going to be awesome.
No, it's really cute. Ignoring the children on the street as you brush by them is one of my favorite things to do in London during Christmas.
You just walk around with a soup ladle and say, no, you've had enough.
Exactly. The workhouse is not in order. That's what I pretend I'm a Republican senator. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to do politics.
Greg Proops, Who's Live Anyway? Tonight at the Pantages, tomorrow at the State. So, Greg, I was trying to think about this. You and I met doing a radio interview in Nashville, I think over a decade ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like you were in town doing your own thing then. I don't think it was with Who's Live. I could be wrong. But you also still the number of hours. I said this about you earlier. You are the guy. You're the first guy that comes to mind where if you walked into a room without a note in front of you, you'll do 90 minutes easy. You just wing it. You make it up as you go, and you're in the rare air up there, man. And it's just always an amazing thing to see. And then you get back on stage with Who's Live. And how does the show work these days? Are you guys being fed ideas from the audience? Because every time I've ever seen you guys in any capacity, I just sit there about 2 minutes in and go, I'd have to tap out by now. And you guys are just getting started.
Oh, that's really nice of you. Yeah, we actually ask the audience for suggestions. We bring people on stage. So it's like watching it on TV, but without that horrible filter of that piece of glass in between it. So,
right.
And so it's way more audience interactive. And thank you for saying that. Yeah, I was doing stand-up Zanies, I think, in Nashville.
Yeah, that was it.
It was a small methamphetamine-filled club in the Nashville area. And now I have a new album out called French Drug Deal because I was in Paris and I saw a guy sell a bag of marijuana on the corner out of his SUV while playing the French national anthem at top volume. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I improvised that album in San Francisco at the Punchline. And then I have another album before that called In the City. So I've been improvising the albums the last few times. I go up there with an idea of what I'm going to do, and I riff it over a few shows. But I find that that's the funnest way to do it now. And I'm still as trenchant and topical and cogent as I always was, of course, which is what keeps me buried in the middle of the comedy firmament. I can't say the word firmament.
But as far as like best dress goes, you're right at the top of the heap on that one.
Well, we try to wear, I made a decision. I was 30-something, Steve, and I was walking through an airport in L.A., and I was wearing skull shorts, a leather jacket, and I had these giant tennis shoes on, and I saw a roadie in his late 40s dressed exactly like I was. And that was the moment when I went, uh-oh, I've got to change, because if I'm still wearing this in 10 years, I'm going to be sad.
Yeah, sure. That's great. Were you aware? I have to imagine you were. So Whose Line Is It Anyway? That started in England, correct?
Yeah, right after the war. We had just shown Germany a thing or two.
And so give me the quick history lesson. So it was on in England, and then there was an American version, or was it the same show and it went both ways? What go back to day one with your involvement anyway.
Almost everything in England goes both ways, Steve.
Well, that's very true.
You've been there, and you know that all it takes is a couple of beers and the clock to move.
There's no rules, only suggestions.
Exactly. We started there in 88, or I went on the show in 89. Ryan and Colin joined in 1990. Then we started doing a couple of tapings in New York. It was on in England for like 10 years. Then Ryan was on the Drew Carey show through. Ryan showed Drew the show. Then they pitched us to ABC. So we went on ABC in like 2000, I think. We were on for like 4 years. And then we were on ABC Family, and then I think BBC every other goddamn. Anyway, about 10 years ago, the CW picked it up, and so we've been on the CW there. In between, I Was a Teenage Vampire and another superhero show that no one watches.
35 years, man. That is in any realistic capacity. That's an amazing accomplishment. Anything going on for 35 years is a hell of an accomplishment.
Right? We're almost as long on television as the Today Show, but with less creepy dudes.
That's always the line. That's the bar. You just want to just keep it under the Today Show for creep factor.
Right?
Yeah, but you guys have done it by because you're a small collection of people that can do this. When you guys got really big, everyone started. There's all these, and you would go to comedy shows, and they were trying to do it in the clubs, and then there were the spin-off TV shows. Every cable channel had one, and they all sucked. And you went, "Oh, okay, only those guys can do it." Did you ever catch any of the other vibe of what everyone else was trying to do, and just think to yourself, "Knock it off"?
Flattery and all that is this imitation is a sincere form of flattery. I mean, I think part of it is we started doing it so long ago, and our producer perfected the way of doing it, which is we shoot things, and if they don't work, we stop shooting them, and we reset, and we start again.
Mm-hmm.
So almost everything you see is in Lifetime. Yes, there's editing. It's a television show. So the order of the games that you're seeing in isn't the order we play them. But we literally play like 30 games, and we get 4 or 5 shows out of each taping because we don't spend 20 minutes chasing something that's not funny.
Yeah.
And that's the key to making that show. Also, the other key is having Ryan Stiles, Wayne Brady, and Colin Rockery because they're geniuses.
Yeah.
So I think every high school and every college in the United States has an improv group now. And, of course, in Australia and Canada and places like that, they always say they love improv. It's not looked down on like it is here, where we have to stay at cheaper hotels and we can't get our haircuts in the daytime.
I tell you what, man, baby steps. You're gonna get it.
Right?
You're gonna get a 2 p.m. haircut before it's all said and done. I guarantee it.
Right? They treat us the way they treated ball players before World War I.
Here's a hot dog, kid. Get in there.
Exactly.
Greg,
some dirt on it.
Greg Proops is with us on the KQ Morning Show. Who's live anyway? 2 nights in the Twin Cities, tonight and tomorrow night. So you, correct me if I'm wrong, you grew up in California?
That's right. I'm from the Bay Area, and I go back so far that, and now marijuana is legal, of course, everywhere, but when I was in high school, you'd be smoking a joint and talking to someone, and you'd be like, yeah, I was going to go see Aerosmith, and then bang, the joint would explode because there'd be a seed wedged in it.
Yeah, right. yeah, exactly right. Well, I, as a high school kid myself, it would have felt like a dream to be able to say I grew up in the Bay Area because I was in a small town in Kentucky. First concert you ever saw, what was it? Not like your parents dragged you, but you and some friends and maybe even a joint. What was your first gig?
Well, the truth be told, I went and saw Sean on when I was like 14, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That checks out.
Right. Tower of Power and Cheech and Chong.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good Lord.
Cool.
That's we can't possibly top that.
The Circle Star Theater in San Carlos. I'm from a really small white town called San Carlos, home of the Plain Yogurt Festival. Take the fruit out, the powerful taste is burning our tongue. Where One Direction is found in the hip-hop section. And there was this awesome theater there. I have no idea why. And it was in the round, which was hilarious because the engine of the stage would start up and you'd hear it. And then the stage would start rotating. So you only saw the performer about a quarter of the time. But I mean, great. Everyone played there. Frank Zappa, Frank Sinatra, everybody named Frank. And I saw all kinds of acts there. Like you said, my parents dragged me, and I saw Ella Fitzgerald and stuff like that. But I saw Tower of Power, Cheech and Chong there. Yeah. And my cousin Donnie and we smoked. You could smoke dope inside even then. I remember we got high when Tower of Power came on, and Lenny Pickett was in the band, and he did this insane dance, and it was pretty fun. So
yeah, that's pretty strong.
On the other hand, there was never good food. If anyone tells you the old days were great, there was like hot dogs. That was all there was at gigs. And there was no such thing as artisanal anything. And there was no such thing as water. You drank a Coke or you died.
That's right. It's amazing. Amazing the difference made when we discovered water is a good thing to have around at all times.
No, there was no water till the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people didn't drink water, and everyone's smoking everywhere. So, look, you couldn't breathe. It's fantastic.
Greg Proops, so, okay, that was your first gig that you're claiming, and I would too, Cheech and Chong Tower Power. What about your first time standing in a room full of strangers trying to make them laugh? How old were you?
Well, I was probably in high school. We were doing it at the rallies and the shows and whatnot, the variety shows. But, like, my partner, Forrest, and I had a partner. We were doing it at the College of San Mateo, California, at a lunchtime gig, and there was this band there, and they were called the Boarding House Reach, as in I'm staying at a boarding house, pardon my reach. And they invited us to go down to the winery in Palo Alto, and so we opened for them for a long time. We were probably 18 years old, and so they let us into this bar, and we were drinking and doing drugs when we were teenagers. And so, Steve, like you, when you joined the band, the lure of being treated like an adult is too powerful to resist.
Yeah, for sure. Greg Proops, Who's Live Anyway, tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight in Minneapolis, it's at the Pantages. Tomorrow night at the State Theater. Did you have a cool mom, Greg? It's Mother's Day weekend. How was Mom?
My mother was World War II generation, so she would save like margarine tubs.
Yeah,
sure, and put vegetables like we would make green beans. My mother, though, you'll be happy to know, was also from Mississippi, so we ate down home food like black-eyed peas and collard beans and lima beans and junk like that. So she could really cook up a storm. And then because she was from the South, she called me Pook and Shug.
I love her. That sounds great. Greg, it is a real pleasure to chat with you again, sir. I'm going to see you tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, pal. We look forward. Come back and say hi, baby.
I sure will. Thanks, Greg.
All right, cheers.
Greg Proops right there.
Wow.
He's fun, isn't he?
I mean, it just keeps coming. It just kind of pours out of him, doesn't it? It's not an act. It's who
I've
he
been on
is.
TV since the Kennedy administration when TVs were powered by steam.
I love the plain yogurt festival.
The plain yogurt festival is
fruit
as good
off
as
there.
it burns the tongue. I remember I watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? The first time I ever saw the show, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And the second time, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then third or fourth time, suddenly I'm like,
yeah, I got hooked on it.
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. This is actually beyond descriptionally great.
They're so talented and so hard to do.
The second
you took improv classes, Tony.
I was in an improv group for years.
Yeah,
it can be a nightmare and a joy.
It's weird because I remember a friend of mine, he's like, dude, you're in radio. This was 20 years ago. He goes, you got to come down and do our improv with us. I'm like, I can never do improv. He goes, you're literally on the radio every morning. I'm like, yeah, but that's not comedy. We're just shooting the Shiite.
Yeah.
But
I'm just looking at these two same knuckleheads. That's different. That's not a room of people who are like, make me laugh, dude.
Get on a stage and be funny. That was, but you loved it.
Yeah.
That just reminded me when I said that. Do you remember the show called Make Me Laugh?
Yes.
A TV show.
Yeah. Someone would sit on a stool and the comics would come up and try and make him laugh. It was so ridiculous.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
right up there with the Gong Show. Yeah.
I said you were just trying to make each other. I hear the song in my head. Make me wow, make me laugh. Bert Convy, if memory serves, was the host.
That's just a good guess for any game show in the 70s.
I feel like it might have been Bert Convy. Oh well. All right. So I tell you what, man. Well, hold on. Now I gotta check this out. Was it Bert Convy?
This is Make Me Laugh.
No. Bobby Van and then Ken Ober.
This is called the best contestant ever. Here we go.
You know, I went to Emerson College in Boston, Massachusetts, and I had
yeah, so it's going to be a visual. So she's just doing it's an older lady, and she has a very, curse look on her face. Well, terse. That's the word I'm looking for. She has a very terse look on her face. But the comedians, they almost touch you. They come up. He's like in her face. All right, make me laugh. Who is the host?
Ken Ober.
Ken Ober was they rebooted it. He came from MTV.
Right.
And then before him, it was whoever I said. I've already forgotten what I said. But
the contestant ends up getting a standing ovation, and I don't know who the first guy is, but a young Gallagher and Gary Shandling could not make her laugh.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Bobby Van, that was the guy.
Yeah, her face is her lips are so pursed. She's just got this bitter look on her face that she ended up cracking up all the comics. But Frank Zappa was on there as a contestant. They had to try and make Frank Zappa laugh.
Oh my God!
Good luck.
Bert Convy hosted what?
Tattletales?
Tattletales. Oh, my God. That was a great game. Also did Super Password. Tattletales was the one. All right. Glad we could get that out of our system. Hey, it's Mother's Day weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend. When did you find out your mom was actually cool? KQ talking text line 651-989-ROCK. You can hit the Facebook page for KQRS. We've got a ton of comments there as well. We're talking about moms. Hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Friday, May 10th. It's Mother's Day weekend. We're sharing a photo or two around here. Tony just sent me and Brian a picture of young Cookie, and I responded with the respectful single hubba, not hubba hubba.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See, it's more respectful
okay.
to simply go.
Thank you.
Hubba.
Hubba, yeah.
Yeah. You go hubba with someone's mom, and then you might be throwing hands.
Both
before
of
you
your
know
moms could have been on the box of anything they were selling to moms in the 1960s. Look at those all-American ladies.
Oh, yeah. The only difference between the photo I'm looking at of my mom is that she's holding a baby while one of her children has a toddler in his lap, and then there's 6 more kids in the picture, too.
Who is that baby she's holding? He looks familiar.
That's oh, boy. I'd say I remember, but I was 4 months old.
I recognize that diaper anywhere.
I tell you what, man. I can only imagine. And when speaking of diapers, when did the disposable diapers hit the scene?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Or as a better way of saying it, when did the human race finally figure out something? Because the idea of we had the whole thought of, well, they say these disposable diapers are bad for the environment. And then I got a little info on what cloth diaper life would be like, and I was like, well, sorry, planet Earth. Yeah. This is just not going to happen.
I had some friends in South Minneapolis. They're like, no, we're not adding to landfills. We're going with cloth diapers.
Ew.
Yeah, right. They went with cloth diapers, going to wash them all out. I remember their baby had been home for like 5 days. I'm talking to Eric. I'm like, how's it going, man? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that cloth diaper thing. How bold of you guys. No. He's like, oh, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So what? He goes, that was literally the first day we got home. She goes, the first diaper she changed and washed out. We went down and got like a station wagon a minivan full of Huggies.
Right.
Yeah, there was
right into the landfill.
When Connell was born, we lived in Brooklyn, and there was another couple in our building that had a baby. There were 2 other babies, all in the same 2-week period. So, and we didn't know them very well. One was a single mom. She was an attorney in town, and she had her baby, and she was the cloth diaper.
Safety pin.
Safety pin, cloth diapers probably. And then, when the kids were able to eat food, it was like only Annie's organic mac and cheese and all this. And it's like, yeah, it sounds great for a minute. But this was also the cloth diaper thing. She had a service, like a truck would show up once a week, and then they pick up the dirty ones, and then they give you the clean ones. And then she was all about organic, and she had to prepare all the baby food herself. And again, I get it on paper, but then when you're up to your knees in a rice paddy and they're closing in on you, you're out of bullets. You're like, okay, I don't care, just hit that button over there and blow everybody up. You know what I mean? It's just like it changes. Yeah, when you're in the battle zone, man, everything looks a little different. And this was also the same mom who, of course, said one time, she's like, well, why do you guys, we were talking about sleep and getting them to sleep and how it was so important to get a schedule. She goes, why do you need a schedule with a baby? She goes, I let whatever, Daniel or David, he just, some nights he's awake. And this is when they were more like a year old, so more like touch. She goes, if he's awake, I'll bring him out to my friend's house. And if he's this, and when he needs to sleep. And I said to her, I go, well, he's on a really tight schedule because that gives us a light. It's not, we can only make plans if we know what he's got going. Like the idea of, we thought we're not limiting him, we're giving us all a chance to get. And she looked at me, she goes, just take him with you. What's so important you can't bring your boy? And I'm like,
throw him in a bag.
I don't know, I'm an adult and he's 9 months old, and if I want to go to dinner with friends, it'd be real great if I knew he was asleep at home with a babysitter.
They always frown on that at King of Diamonds. I never get it. I'm like, well, there's other women here, the ones that aren't dancing, they could watch the kid while I'm tipping and enjoying myself. I'm looking at.
There's a stigma attached. It's not right.
They brought their kids. Why can't I bring mine? On the KQ Facebook post, my very earliest memories of my cool mom always had motorcycles in them. 1973, when I was 10 or so, she rolled in on her brand new Honda 500, complete with the full windjammer, fairing, saddlebags, sissy bar, of course, wearing a buckskin jacket with the long fringes. Also, all my friends couldn't believe it.
Oh, man, that is...
Oh, that's Mark. Hey, Mark, the coffee spitter. I remember. Mark, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for checking in this morning. Made him spit some coffee one morning.
Man, that is awesome.
Beth had a Harley-Davidson riding mom, and guess what she did for a living? She was a librarian in the 80s and 90s. Drove Z28s and Trans Ams.
Wow.
Raced some guys around town. That's a cool mom, Beth.
That is a cool mom. Holy smoke. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. Shannon, do we have a caller?
We do. We have Paulie from Prior Lake. He wants to talk about the cloth diapers.
Paulie, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are you? Hey, Brian.
We're good here, brother.
Hey,
Thanks.
Paulie.
What have you got? What sort of insight have you got for us?
Well, I'm old enough to remember my younger brother and younger sister in the cloth diapers, and you had to take them, put them in the toilet, clean them out, rinse them out, and then there was a bucket that had ammonia in it. And, ammonia is just that's awful. And you'd put it in there, and you'd leave it, and weekly some service would come by. So then you had to wring them out, put them in another bucket, and then you'd put them outside, like the milkman used to come, and there'd be a bucket, and the diaper guy would come by. And he'd replace the cloth diapers and take away the old smelly ones. And it was not pleasant.
No. Hey, so what do you do for a living? I'm the diaper guy. But, hey, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
It had to be done in the day. I'll tell you what those cloth diapers are good for these days, Paulie. Shining up the spit polish and chrome on the motorcycle, doing the motorcycle pipes. I love it. You get that, it's a nice soft pad on there. Doesn't scratch the pipes.
Yeah, and you got to use a clean one, of course.
Got to use a clean one, of course.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Hey, thank you for listening, and we appreciate the call, brother.
Good tip, motorcycle Martha
All right,
Stewart.
take care, guys.
Yeah. See ya. Okay, here's your brief history of the disposable diaper. 1948, Johnson & Johnson introduced the first mass-marketed disposable diaper.
Oh, okay.
In 1961, Procter & Gamble hit the scene with Pampers. I'm not sure. I know that in my mind, Huggies really hit the scene in Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
Now listen up. I'm going to take you to Huggies and whatever else you got there in that
Son,
register.
you got a panty on your head.
1970, American babies go through 350,000 tons of disposable diapers, making up 0.3% of all municipal waste in America. Oh, my God, it just goes on.
Aren't they biodegradable or something by now?
Yes, the early 21st century disposable diapers, of which my children went through, they will have finished biodegrading by the year 2500.
Right.
So I was thinking about future generations will be fine.
Right.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Well, just think about all the diapers we're going to be going through someday. Maybe.
Yeah, man, that's really something. For I'd have to ask my mom what our diaper scene was. I gotta think they were with all those kids. I know that there was also I think when you have more and more kids, it's of course real easy to toilet train the later ones. You're just watching people constantly go. A lot of those things come easier to the younger kids. Our daughter was much. The diaper potty training for the boy took a while. Marley one day was just like, I think I'm ready. Boom, done. Like, oh, nice, thanks. Thanks for observing your older brother and being a girl and just getting over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. My mom, we've been sharing moments when we hit when we had realizations that our moms were cool. And I don't mean like, rolling up the cigarettes in the sleeve, shooting pool cool, although that would be really cool. If you got that story, please share it. But for me, another key moment, and it was a real life moment, was when I was a senior in college, a broadcasting major, of all things. I'm going to be a broadcaster. And about a month into my senior year, in the month of September, I got a phone call from a buddy who, my buddy Clint, who I also referenced earlier. His mom was the first quote-unquote hot mom at our school.
Yeah.
Clint called and said, hey, let's start a band. I said, cool. Let's drop out of college and do it. I said, cool. I dropped out of college. And then I was like, I'm going to move to Boston to start a band with my friend Clint. And then he called a week later and said, let's go to Atlanta. I said, cool. I didn't care. I just had an out. The parachute had come. I jumped on and we were off. Mm-hmm. But then I had to go tell my mom, hey, by the way, that whole halfway through my senior year thing, so I borrowed a friend from a buddy, drove 60 miles to my house. I said, Mom, we got to have a chat. And I sit down and I'm like, this is by far and away the biggest conversation of my life. I'm letting her know that I am in charge of my own life. And I'm 21. I can make these decisions. And I'm expecting this to be like the Salt 2 talks. Sure. You know, I mean, this is Brezhnev and Jerry Ford or whoever it was. I mean, we're going to be sitting down going deep into the night. And I said, Mom, I dropped out of all my classes. I'm going to move to Atlanta with Clint, and we're going to start a band. And she literally goes, "Oh, honey, that's great. I'm so glad you can do something you're so passionate about."
Oh, Mama.
And I literally just went, where's the trap door? What's about to happen? Right. I thought, is there going to be a hood over my head and I'm going to go into like some, drug treatment center? You think? And she goes, "Oh, that is just so great." She goes, I could tell you were, you're not loving college and this is exciting. You've always loved those drums. I just wish you'd ever played. Because I, of course, had never owned a drum kit. I'm like, I'm going to Atlanta to buy drums and be in a band. And she literally, within 10 minutes, she's like, did you want an egg salad sandwich? I'm like, yeah, I would like an egg salad sandwich, please. It was incredible. It's the coolest thing ever.
Mom's just too cool. So wait a minute.
Go.
You don't have a broadcasting degree?
Uh-oh. I didn't say that. I didn't. No.
Oh, don't tell the FCC.
That's not on your resumes. Oh,
hold on. But I'm an honor. They asked me for money. Does that not? I'm an alumnus in their eyes.
Shannon, can we cut his mic until we get this sorted out?
Yeah, just not a professional.
I told them to delete the resume. The Hardy job application.
Hey, listen to this, Margie. On the KQ Facebook page, when did you know your mom was cool? My mom was always cool. Her everyday cars were as follows. 1969 GTO, the GOAT.
Oh, my God.
1984 Trans Am. And then off to the 1994 Mustang. Oh, all with manual transmissions.
Mom.
Yeah, burning rubber.
Wowza.
Yeah, nobody beat Mom to work.
I mean, my mom went manual, but it was a Datsun 210. and if the door wasn't shut all the way, it went dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. That car weighed 39 pounds.
I learned to drive on one of those.
We used to say we would have to back the car up to. I learned how to turn on a car and engage reverse and back it up to get away from the basketball hoop. At a very early age, I could back a car up. And I remember we used to have the conversation, which was, the three of it, we could tip this car over, couldn't we? That thing was, it was the lightest car. And when I learned to drive in it, I mean, you'd be going slow, not like highway speeds, and just a moderate wind would whip up, and you just feel like you're getting blown across the road.
You roll down the windows, and it like wiffle balls off into the ditch or something like that.
Within 5 years, the cars that we all drove went from literal boats that weighed 6,700 pounds to just a little balsa wood Datsun that weighed 9.5 pounds. It was insanity.
We had a Chevy Caprice Classic that Mom drove around, 4-door, but you could have put 25 doors on. It was a bus, and you weren't. The wind wasn't moving that thing, but she would. That thing would go by. It took about 10 minutes to drive past you.
On the Facebook page, Robert wrote, "I mortified my wife by belching in the car with my 95-year-old mom riding in the back seat. Mom's response was to drop her own belch in reply."
Yeah.
Take that, a counterpunch.
Yeah.
The family that belches together. No, I can't say that. It rhymes, but my God, let's hope not.
No.
Hey, Shannon, do we have a phone call?
Yes, we do. We have Dave from Princeton. He wants to talk about the cloth diapers again. He says that something happened to a family member with it.
All right, Dave, what do you got for us, brother?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great, thank you very much.
Great.
I've been listening to KQ since it was the AM station.
Holy.
Fair enough.
Man.
Hey, quick story. When our daughter was little, she had to have cloth diapers because she was allergic to disposable diapers.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the bad part. The bad part was trying to pin those things on with those stupid safety pins.
Oh, gosh.
She was crying and screaming. I thought she was just fussing. Here I was trying to poke the pin through the side of her hip.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Great, aren't we?
Man. I felt so bad, and I'll never forget that, and I don't think she'll ever let me forget it because we talked about it.
Man.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
Oh.
Yeah, wow.
Toughened her up.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Painful
hey,
memories
hi to my brother John, he's listening.
What's that?
I say hi to my brother John. I know he's listening.
Right on. Morning, Jono. All right, thank you for the call, brother. We appreciate that.
Great day, guys. Go Wolves.
All right, go Wolves indeed. There were cloth diapers in my family because I do remember the story now of the safety pin thing. When my brother Dave was a baby, my mom heard him crying out in his crib, and she went in, and my brother Jim had already gone in there, and he was comforting his little brother, like, I got him, it's okay. And it happened a few times, and Jim would always be the first one in there to make sure the baby was okay. Jim was poking him with the pin to make him cry, and then get the, oh, thank you, honey, the reward for being there to comfort the baby.
Oh, my gosh.
Get him to cry, and then,
These
what's
babies
the matter,
are good
buddy?
for something.
This is where I'm glad I'm an only child.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Well.
And by the way, people would be like, hey, Jim and Dave fought their whole lives. How come? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that had something to do with it. On the KQ Facebook page, we're talking about our moms and how cool they are. Callie posted a photo of her mom, 1952 Minneapolis Aquatennial Queen Betty.
Hello.
And because Kelly's not in the room with me, I'm going to give the double hubba. Wowza. Yeah, that's a cool mom right there. That's a beautiful woman. All right. We still have a little bit of time left if you want to share a story with us about moms or, oddly enough, cloth diapers or whatever. Feel free to let us know. 651-989 Rock is the KQ talk and text line. We also have a little bit of a history lesson to get through in just a few minutes, so hang tight. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Happy Mother's Day to the moms. Happy Mother's Day to anybody who celebrates, and that's pretty much most of us. And I do feel the need to say, for anybody who's not celebrating specifically because you can't, my hearts are with you. We think of you every year. You know, every year it's someone's first Mother's Day without their mom. And I guarantee you someone listening to our show is in that position, and we feel you, and we know you're out there. So
remembering mom,
our hearts are with you.
Yep, whether you're honoring her or remembering her, a lot of people on the KQ Facebook post are remembering mom as well. And that's great stuff.
On the KQ talk and text line, I wanted to go to Alice Cooper for my first concert, but was afraid my mom wouldn't let me go. The night of the concert, I asked her if she would let me go, if she would have let me go. And she responded by saying, sure, I know what a big fan you are. So the kid, you're thinking, there's no way I can do it. And then he finally asked, it's a little too late. The day after the concert, my mom cut out an article about the show with a picture of Alice sacrificing a balloon. I still have that article to this day. My son Adam's middle name is Cooper, and we've seen Alice in concert. We both dressed up, rock on. That's a nice story.
That's a very nice story.
Moms come around. It's amazing if you could go back in time. It's always like, I should have acknowledged sooner how cool my mom was. Very few of us. It's fine. It's the natural order of things. My kids are in college now, and they absolutely. They say your kids leave and then they come back. Around 13 or 14, they just morph into. Oh, Tony, you have no idea what you're about to walk into.
I've entered.
Well,
that
room. I guess.
That probably even comes quicker because kids are just so much more savvy with the internet and this age of information we live in. They probably grow up just a hair faster,
cooler, quicker.
Brain mush sets in around 12, and then around 17, you're like, oh, I remember that kid. You're back. Hey, how was that journey across the river Styx? And so, but my kids are all well back, and it's funny because they'll sometimes be talking about their impressions of us at 10, 11, 12, and then their impressions of their other friends' parents, and fascinating stuff to look back on. Happy to say that my kids never thought I was cool because I'm like a dude in a band. They couldn't have possibly cared. I mean, they thought it was cool when we played a song the crowd liked, but like I had the kid who'd be like, why do you guys jam so much? Just bored to tears.
I wish you were an AC/DC.
There was my son who cried on the phone because I wasn't an AC/DC. I was in a crap band. You just keep playing those songs that no one ever likes. You only play Hard to Handle once a week. You're so boring. But thank God, that's the way it should be.
Christine's mom on the KQ Facebook page. Back in the day, my mom dropped us off at Musicland at 1 a.m. to wait in line for Prince tickets. She set up a tent, gave us hot chocolate, and a pile of cash. I was 14.
All right.
Man.
That's either an amazing mom or a lazy one. Well, it might be both. I don't know,
both.
Christine. I'm going with amazing.
It's a discernment with your laziness. You got to know when to apply it and how, and then you can get all the points for life. That's fantastic.
Yeah, besides that she had stayed there with you and your friend in your tent, she realized that's a coming-of-age moment. You're 14, you're waiting for Prince tickets. She's thinking about the tickets or the concert she went to. This That's Mom detaching a little bit.
She said, "You're on your own. I trust you. I think you got to be responsible." And then she went up on the roof with a rifle and held sniper duty all night to make sure no one messed with her kid.
I was just going to say she was in the parking ramp across the street watching you with that eagle eye.
That's exactly right. Shannon, surely you have a tale or two to share with us.
I do. I've got one about my mom and one about my grandma. So I'll do the grandma one first because this one kind of blew my mind. One of my cousins was dating a girl, and she started to lip off to my grandma, and then she smacked my grandmother.
Ooh. Wait. Your cousin's girlfriend smacked his grandmother.
Yep, and he didn't do anything about it. And then my grandmother decided to punch her in the face.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What a tender family moment.
That's the only information that I really know because multiple people tell different stories. I wasn't personally there, but my grandmother was always really cool in my book, and it just made her 10 times cooler. Just like because she ain't taking no lip from no one.
Was your grandmother a big woman?
My grandmother was just a tad bit taller than me, and I'm 5'3", so she was like maybe 5'5".
Well, my mom's mom was 4 feet 11 inches tall.
Seriously?
Yeah. My dad's mom was 5'10". I don't remember I'm sure they were in the same room together, of course.
Yeah.
But not that I remember, because my mom's mom died when I was 4. But the idea of the two of them, like this diminutive, tiny little elf, and then Grandma Gertrude Gorman was just like the boss, man. She didn't take no lip.
Yeah.
And I was just picturing, my God, if somebody had slapped Gertrude Gorman, they would not have woken up again.
No, that'd be the end of that.
No.
Come give your mama a kiss.
I tell you what, man, that's a fact right there. All right, so that's Grandma. So wait, did Mom karate kick somebody then? What's your mom's story?
Mom has kind of two stories. The first one was when I was in junior high school. I had asked her, please, there's an autograph session for a band that I really like at the mall. Can I please skip school to go see them? And she took me, and we were the first people in line to that autograph session. So I'm like, this is really cool. And then I had found out early on, my mom had endometriosis, and she was told she could never have kids.
Yeah.
And she said, nope, I'm going to have a daughter. I have one more try at this, and I'm going to. And then all of a sudden, I show up 9 months later.
Oh. Boy, that's hard work with and how do you say it? I know what it is, and I know it's tough. What do you say?
Endometriosis.
Yeah, I can never say it right. Ooh, man, solid effort. Well, boy, you were wanted. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, right.
The doctors had told them, like, this can't happen. And she's like, oh, no, I'm going to make it happen.
A mother's will, yeah.
Here's a good one on the KQ Talk and text line. When I was 13, my mom bought 4 floor tickets to see Pantera at the old Metrodome.
Mama.
I don't think my dad knew who Pantera was, but it was my mom's favorite band at the time. They took a friend and I, and we got our asses kicked in the mosh pit. Yes.
Funny.
Maybe 2 years later, they took us to see my favorite band at the time, Les Corbeaux Noirs. That's French for the Black Crows. It was the Basilica Block Party. She still talks about how I knew every word to Hard to Handle when I was 5. I remember playing the Basilica Block Party. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
2008 or 9. I think 2009. Yeah. Why do I remember that? What is wrong with me?
You remember everything, except what we're supposed to be talking about
July 10th, 2009. Oh, that's just a drug-addled mind.
That's weird.
Here's a text from Doug from Matamidi. Hey, Matamidi. When I was in high school, one of my friends sent in a subscription to Playboy, and my name was a joke, thinking that I would get in trouble. Well, the first one showed up in my mail. Yeah, my mom asked me about it. I told her that I hadn't sent in a subscription. She just shrugged her shoulders and said that it must have been a prank. She threw the Playboy on my bed, told me to thank whoever bought the subscription, and walked out. Best part, I got a free year of Playboys.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, Mom. Yeah, my mom,
Golly, it makes me want to rub one out in his mom's honor.
Dad kept his Playboy collection. By the way, my dad subscribed to Playboy, and the first year it came out. And he had every Playboy through like 1982, 3 or something like that. But and Mom ended up throwing them all away. I'm like, oh, Mom, that was every Playboy. from the very first Playboy to all the Playboys that you threw away. And probably good that she did. My brother and I found them when we were at that age because Dad kept them in the linen closet, top shelf behind the towels. And I remember years later telling her, well, Chris and I, found those. She goes, oh, did you? Behind the towels? She goes, I know. From about the time you turned 12 or 13, every time I'd go in the bathroom, the linen towels were all messed up. Oh. She goes, I knew exactly what was going on. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Like, that's awkward. Thank you.
Towels were messed up.
Yeah, she goes, she goes, that's when I started knocking on the bathroom door. I was like, oh, yeah, right. Good call.
I remember my mom at one point telling me there was something. I had a problem with a kid at school, and he was making fun of. We had just moved to Kentucky, and someone was like, this is a really bizarre thing now I'm remembering. So we moved to this small town, very few Catholics in Hopkinsville, Kentucky at the time. There was one Catholic church, and I do believe there were 66 Southern Baptist churches.
Oh, wow.
And like 31 Methodist churches. Sure. But the Southern Baptist, 66 or 67, one Catholic church. The closest synagogue was in Clarksville, 30 miles away.
Right.
We're talking rural southwestern Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And some kids were. I said something to my mom one day early on. She's like, "What's the matter, honey?" And I said, kids are making fun of me and all these Catholic jokes. And then I'm from a big family. Like no one had 8 kids in this town. Every kid I knew, they were one of at most 3.
Yeah.
And so she said, and I just remember this weird, she just kind of turned on me. She goes, honey, there's 3 things you have to be willing to fight for: your God, your country, and your family. And if someone messes with any of those, you put them in their place. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, Mom.
I was so surprised that I was like, she's giving me the green light to go punch some kid for making. Okay, cool.
They just went after 2 of her 3 things: her family and her,
and the
religion.
And the best was very shortly after that moment, we went to see as a 5th grade school trip the movie 1776.
Oh.
Remember that? It's like a musical on Broadway, and then they made a movie about it.
Yeah.
And so a school field trip to go downtown to the Alhambra Theater to see a film. And so we're going to get on some buses. And my mom was going to chaperone, one of the parents who chaperones. Mm-hmm. I'm a 5th grader, and I'm in my new school. And we line up outside the classroom, and this kid named Robert Patrick, also the name of the Terminator 2 cop who dissolves into liquid metal, that actor, but not the same person. Robert Patrick goes, "Your mom is so old," when he saw her. And I turned, and with her, you fight for your family. So I gave and having 5 older brothers, knew how to throw a punch, and I took the wind right out of him, right into the center solar plexus.
Nice.
And he went, and he went down and couldn't breathe, and he had the panic that we all have had the wind knocked out of us. And my teacher, Mrs. Clow, spun around, she of the fiberglass paddle. "Mr. Gorman, let's go right now." And she said, "I can't believe you're going to get a lick with your mom here." Like she was going to paddle me. "And your mom is here. What was wrong with you?" And I said, "I hit him because he made fun of my mom because he said she looked old." And my teacher went, "He said what?" And I said, "When my mom walked in, he said, 'Your mom is so old.'" And she goes, "Thank you," returned to the line. And she stepped out, "Robert, in here."
Nice.
And he's still trying to catch his breath, and she paddled that boy's ass. Something fierce.
Never say the O word.
No, that used to be an insult. Now I expect to hear it. But, back in the day, you didn't call someone's parent old. Well, that was a learning day for Robert, young Robert.
He learned. He did.
That's it.
The talk and text line, my supermom traveled with 2 of her sons, I was one of them, to attend a Grateful Dead show in Vegas. Enough said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His mom was Mountain Girl, and she ran off with Jerry Garcia. We've all heard the legends. Oh, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, these are great stories.
Oh, the moms.
Oh,
I wonder what stories our kids will tell about us. If we flash forward to when our kids are like our age, and they'll be like,
"Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess there was that one time." Man,
yeah.
Who knows?
They observe everything.
I was going to say, because the stuff we're talking about, our parents don't even remember.
Oh, I hope they forget a lot of stuff.
It was just Tuesday for them. What are you talking about?
Right.
Oh, man. So Zepp and I are going fishing tomorrow, Lake City.
Yeah, baby, down
Governor's
to
Fishing
Lake
Open.
Pepin. Yeah, going to go down there and see if we can jig for a walleye or 2, I suppose. I don't know what else we're catching this time of the year. I usually don't go out fishing until June, until it gets a little warmer, but I'm excited. I love Lake City. To get out on the boat. Well, what did you say? Go shoot some fish.
I think that's the plan. Now, is this like we're talking about like M80s, or do you actually get is there real dynamite involved? How are we going to do this?
Yeah, just little quarter sticks of TNT is what I like to use, because they'll hold the fuse underwater, and then you get that good concussion. I know we'll be out there. We'll see who catches what.
You're going to keep what you catch, or are you going to eat it, or are you going to throw it back? What happens?
I'm a catch and release guy. Wait, that's my dating life.
Don't forget to take a photo and post it on social media.
Oh, yeah, you got to do that.
There's that.
If it's not on social media, did it even happen?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, really looking forward to it. It's supposed to be a nice day, isn't it? I don't know.
It is supposed to be a beautiful day. One last thing before we all go back, and this is my favorite story of the day. I absolutely adore when somebody does the right thing and it's so wrong. You can't even pretend that this makes sense. A woman in North Carolina, her name is Rhonda Deaver. First things first, great name. Rhonda Deaver. This spells the South. I have a friend named Portis Tanner.
Oh, you can't top that.
What a name. That's such a Southern. His dad was a Blue Dog Democrat congressman for years. Like a Democrat, but just in name only. They used to call them Blue Dogs, real conservative Democrats. Yeah. It's funny. I tell my kids, I remember when there was conservative Democrats and liberal Republicans, and they look at me and go,
what?
How
does that work?
So, but Portis Tanner's dad was in Congress forever. He's a great dude. Lives in Union City, Tennessee, and his name is Portis Tanner. I can't get it. I've known him forever, and I'm always like, that's the best. That's a movie character name.
That's a damn good name.
Someone would be like, how do these writers come up with these names? But I see this name Rhonda Deaver, and it makes me think of my buddy Portis. So Rhonda Deaver, back to a woman in North Carolina. She's from a little town called Kinston, not Kingston, but Kinston, North Carolina. She goes and has lunch at a place called Smith's Cafe. Forgets or somehow leaves accidentally her credit card behind. Has no idea that her credit card's missing. And at some point she does realize it, probably because some people said, hey, you need to go to Smith's. They have your credit card. And she's like, well, how do you know? Well, here's how they know. Because an employee at Smith's spotted the card. Said, I got to find this woman. Her name is on it, Rhonda Deaver. He didn't think to himself, maybe I'll call 411. Do they still have Can you still get a phone number?
It's Kinston.
Can you still
ask
Google?
around.
Can you just Google a name and maybe I'll find out where she works? No, he didn't do any of that. He thought, I'll just handle this directly. So he took a picture of the front of the credit card.
No.
And then he took a picture of the back of the credit card and posted them both on Facebook.
No.
Are you dumb or something?
And said, hey, Rhonda Deaver. This is what his caption said. Hey, guys, Mrs. Rhonda Deaver, you've left your card here at the store. It's a small town when a cafe is, they refer to it as the store. If you know her, let her know we have it and would love to make sure it's returned. We've placed it in a secure location.
On the internet for everyone to see. You're trying too hard. First of all, Rhonda will be back to get it.
Yeah.
Nothing drives me crazier than someone, we got to go. We have to pick that up. We have to take it lost and found. I said, they probably just left it. They'll be right back for it. And if they come back for it, now we've taken it somewhere. Just let's leave it. She's coming back for her credit card. She'll figure it out very quickly.
Or if she says, like, I don't even know where it is, she'll just order a new one.
Yeah, cancel it. Order a new one. She didn't cancel it, though,
What I don't have in front of me is how long the post was up. It has been taken down because, when Rhonda finally did get a hold of the situation, over $2,000 in charges had been racked up on her card.
Yeah. All right, here's Rhonda.
I couldn't believe that they did that, but I was sick thinking that I might be responsible for all those charges. It had been used a whole lot of declines, but a whole lot that went through. I live on a fixed income, and there's not like there's extra money every month to cover those bills that somebody else charged on my card.
Well, maybe somebody at the cafe that, say, perhaps put a picture of your credit card front and back on Facebook can cough up a paycheck.
I can tell you this, if it's any solace to you, Rhonda, it's important to remember that in Kinston, North Carolina, you are, at best, never more than 2 miles away from some phenomenal barbecue. Just that vinegar-based sauce they do, and then also really just I'd say a couple phone calls removed from a mason jar full of peach, homemade peach hooch brandy. They got moonshine in North Carolina that
I bet they do.
Oh, it's still a thing. You get a mason jar full of peach moonshine. I've had a little bit of experience with this, and let me tell you something right now, and I'm not exaggerating. You need one good belt. That's it.
That's it.
And your night is set.
Down in southern Georgia, right off the Scintilla River. I'm down there doing a little hunting with my dad, and we had a particularly good day out on the hunt. And Scooter, I kid you not, that's the man who took care of the ground. Scooter couldn't understand a word, but when he laughed, we laughed. And when he took the shovel out to the backyard to dig up, we're going to go get the good shine tonight, and went out to the backyard, and he said, "What do you guys think, 5 or 8-year-old?" We're like, "Well, I mean, if you're giving us an option, we're going to go for the 8-year-old." And he goes, "Well, then we got to walk back into the trees." And we walked back into the trees. No markers that were visible to me anywhere, but he walked right to a spot, started digging, ting, and hit a metal box, opened that metal box, and there were 4 big mason jars of hooch in there.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, and we drank a little bit of that, and a little went a long way.
No, they're not playing games. We had a kid, not a kid, he was just a dude, came to a gig in 1990 in Raleigh, North Carolina, and he somehow got in the dressing room, and he goes, "Y'all like peaches?"
Sounds like a trick question.
We're like, well, it's December. This is not a time for peaches. And he had one mason jar, and he goes, "Here you go, man. Record sounds great." And he walked out. And we got on the bus, and everyone's like, what do we do? Do we try? I mean, it's obviously moonshine, but how do we know there's not strychnine in it or whatever? And, of course, you open it, and it smelled like a warm peach pie. It was phenomenal. And so, finally, it's like, then we all have a few drinks of something else, and finally, screw it, let's just try it. And everybody has a little, I mean, probably as much as like 2 proper shots total, because you are sipping this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And this is a story that any member of my band in 1990 will tell you, because it's the same story. Within 10 minutes, we were in Atlanta. 6 hours later, going, "What just happened?"
Face down.
We were all just in the front lounge, 6 people out cold, sitting there.
We get, Dad and I, everyone there, we get into the moonshine that night. Same kind of deal. We wake up the next morning. Now we have to fly. We're down to Jacksonville, was the closest airport. So we have to get down to Jacksonville, both of us pretty sore, pretty hungover. Yeah. They're like, "Hey, we're sleeping in the same room." He's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, not good this morning." He goes, "Oh, me either. We'll just we'll get a good breakfast, and we'll get down to the airport, and we walk out of our room there. Everybody goes, "Well, it's good to see you two talking this morning." What? Oh, after last night? Why?
Yeah.
What? Well, the fight you two got into, I thought we had to stop you from going outside to settle it. I'm like, "What?" Dad's like, "We did? What was it about?" No one could remember what was it about, but thank God we forgot about it.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's strong.
Woody, doing it his way every midday and every weekday at noon. It's a free ride. Minnesota's commercial-free classic rock.